E aí, pessoal, sejam todos bem-vindos aqui ao PrivacyMap, diretamente de Barcelona, na Espanha. E eu estou aqui com duas figuras do cenário da Zcash, duas pessoas que estão trabalhando faz muito tempo para poder crescer a comunidade da Zcash na América Latina. E hoje eu vou entrevistar aqueles aqui rapidamente para saber um pouco do background deles, como que tem sido, eles são da Venezuela, como tem sido ser criadores da comunidade Zcash num país que tem tido algumas dificuldades, eles vão explorar também aqui. E, enfim, essa aqui é a nossa oportunidade de conhecer também um pouco mais sobre a comunidade Zcash fora do Brasil, né? Como que está sendo desenvolvida, como que as pessoas estão se relacionando, enfim. Eu sou o Vitor Pio, eu vou estar falando hoje com o...
Mi nombre es Roosevelt Gordones.
E mi nombre es Aura Brito.
É isso, e esse vídeo vai estar legendado, então eu vou tentar um portunhol aqui, não se... Por favor, não julguem o meu portunhol, eu acredito que vai ser legal, mas vamos lá. Entonces, ¿cómo que es para usted, cómo fue su experiencia haciendo el trabajo inicial en Zcash para Latinoamérica? ¿Cómo fueron los primeros pasos que ustedes empezaron a hacer y cómo está ahora?
A ver, empezamos hace un año y medio en Venezuela.
Un año y medio, justamente.
Pero tenemos 10 años trabajando con comunidades digitales. Y el año pasado, en una de nuestras comunidades, se hizo un conversatorio sobre Zcash.
Sí.
Joditar, el embajador de Zcash en español, que seguramente está viendo esto, me pidió para hacer un conversatorio sobre Zcash en mi comunidad. Yo ya venía aprendiendo de criptomonedas desde hace 2 años, pero no sabía nada de Zcash. Cuando escucho el conversatorio, me gustó mucho la información, me gustó el tema de la privacidad y empecé a estudiar. A mí me encanta, yo soy muy curioso. Sí. Y bueno, pues aprendí todo del ecosistema y todo el tema. Free2C lo empecé a utilizar.
¿Qué
y bueno,
Free2C?
Free2C, la plataforma multimedia para generar generadores de contenido de Zcash. Bueno, es una herramienta espectacular como para hacer blogs, pero hacemos C-Pages. Y es una herramienta espectacular. Yo monté una campaña porque tenía una computadora muy vieja y no tenía los fondos para comprarlas. Monté la campaña fue exitosa. En apenas 48 horas reuní para el equipo. Y bueno, eso pues empezó a hacer mucho ruido en la comunidad y luego se une ella y otras personas empezaron a ver mi testimonio y empezaron a probar Zcash.
Yo creo que mi testimonio fue un poco distinto porque yo no entré realmente porque me interesaba el tema de cripto, sino que me interesaba el tema comunitario. Me gustaba más cómo se movía la comunidad y bueno, en mi labor de community builder desde hace tantos años creo que eso fue lo que me atrapó. Y una vez que entro a Zcash me doy cuenta que sí había un espíritu de colaboración, que la gente estaba haciendo como muchas cosas interesantes y yo dije, bueno, creo que desde lo que yo sé puedo empezar a aportar aquí en este espacio y luego fue que vino la investigación. Yo recuerdo que la gente hablaba mucho de un término y siempre lo digo, la gente se ríe porque yo escuchaba que la gente decía, tienes que hacer Dior. Y yo decía, ¿qué es Dior? Yo nada más conozco la marca de ropa, no conozco qué es esto. Y empecé a investigar y cuando me di cuenta, yo decía, es que ya estoy haciendo Dior una vez que estoy investigando.
D-Y-O-R.
Ya. Entonces, bueno, creo que ese fue como el inicio. También empecé a generar contenido en Free2C y bueno, yo tengo una comunidad de mujeres emprendedoras en Venezuela y les empecé a decir qué estaba haciendo yo en Zcash y mucha gente se unió también a la comunidad y bueno, fue así como empecé como el camino allí, pero básicamente fue generando contenido y bueno, luego entendiendo el tema de la privacidad, el tema cripto y el tema Web3, que era algo que me emocionaba mucho también.
Pero fíjate, Víctor, que ambos casos, aunque han sido distintos, coinciden en algo y es el tema educativo.
Sí.
Para poder empezar en el ecosistema, y nosotros hacemos mucho énfasis en eso, hay que educar, hay que aprender.
Educar y educarse.
Y por supuesto, ¿no? Entonces, la educación es esencial para aprender no solamente de Zcash, sino de todo el tema Web3, el tema blockchain, es muy importante.
Além da educação, quais são outros desafios que vocês enfrentaram desde o começo de seu trabalho?
Interesante.
Muchas de las veces las personas, cripto.
Ya hablar de Venezuela es un desafío.
Sí.
¿Ok? Pero ese tema, ¿qué sucede? Al estar Latinoamérica en crisis económica perennemente, la gente busca muchas formas de ingreso. Entonces, la gente empieza a buscar formas de aprobar y caen lamentablemente en estafas, rug pulls,
Sí.
esquemas Ponzi. Entonces hay gente que ha caído en estafas de criptomonedas. Entonces cuando uno les habla de Zcash dicen, ay no, a
No
mí
quiero
ya me
eso.
estafaron con las criptomonedas, no
Sí.
quiero eso. Entonces ese es el gran reto, es como reeducar.
Sí, el reto es un tema educativo principalmente y luego también tiene que ver con cómo las personas reaccionan a eso y qué podemos nosotros hacer también para que las personas cambien un poquito el pensamiento. ¿Qué me empezó a suceder a mí en el caso particular? Fue el tema de los resultados. Cuando yo le decía a la gente, mira, estoy generando contenido en esta plataforma, la gente me está haciendo donaciones, adicionalmente me están invitando a colaborar en proyectos, a las personas les empezó a interesar esto. ¿Cómo lo puedo hacer yo? Entonces, claro, ahí pasas por el tema educativo. Cuando le dices a la gente, este es mi testimonio y yo puedo enseñarte a hacerlo también, entonces la gente se relaja un poco y está más dispuesta a aprender. Pero creo que es importante que le digamos a la gente que hay seguridad, que hay privacidad y que esto es un proceso, que no es tan sencillo como de hoy a mañana vas a tener un resultado, porque creo que también la gente tiene una idea falsa de que te vas a hacer millonario o que tienes que hacer una inversión, porque la gente me decía, ¿cuánto invertiste para estar en esa comunidad? Y yo decía, no, no tiene que ver con eso. Entonces hay como un pensamiento erróneo en cuanto a las criptos en Venezuela.
Y una de las cosas que Features es diferente de las comunidades tradicionales o las plataformas tradicionales es la privacidad, como usted
Así,
dice.
sí es.
Y también o cambio de movimiento que hacemos. ¿Por qué? Porque hoy en plataformas tradicionales tiene que crear una cuenta que intermedia su cuenta para su comunidad. E muitas das vezes você quer ter algo como doações, algo assim,
Crowdfunding.
crowdfunding, tem que passar por Big Tech para tener un
Y las comisiones son muy altas
comisiones, sí.
adicionalmente, entonces creo que tenemos que darnos cuenta que hay otras opciones,
Sí.
pero tenemos que aprender a usarlas para también sentir seguridad. Creo que eso es de
No
lo
sé cómo
importante.
será, Víctor, en Brasil, pero en Venezuela, abrir una cuenta de, ¿cómo se llama? GoFundMe, es imposible.
No se
O
puede.
sea, es imposible. Las personas que han necesitado pedir por alguna enfermedad o por algún accidente o algo, han tenido que recurrir a personas en Estados Unidos o en otros países para poder abrir su cuenta. Cuando yo monté mi campaña, y tiene que ver con lo que dice ahora, el tema del testimonio, cuando la gente dice, si te pasó a ti, yo creo. Pero si me lo cuentas porque a un fulanito o a un tercero, no me parece real. Entonces cuando yo monté mi campaña y la gente vio el resultado, vio la foto de lo que compré, vio la billetera, las capturas de pantalla, la gente dijo, ok, sí creo. Y yo empecé a difundir mucho Free2C como una plataforma de generación de contenidos, pero de crowdfunding. Creo que eso es muy poderoso.
Sí.
Sí.
E para encerrarmos, por que privacidade? Importa para usted.
Porque estamos en un país donde no existe la privacidad ni la seguridad. Y cuando empiezas a entender que es importante que la privacidad esté presente en todo lo que hacemos, es que como que caes en cuenta que lo has venido haciendo de manera errónea durante años y que eso se va trasladando de generación en generación. Ahora, cuando tienes el conocimiento, cuando estudias, cuando investigas, se abre un panorama súper distinto sobre lo que compartes, sobre cómo impactas a tu entorno, sobre lo que puedes hacer por otro, porque al final del día yo entiendo que también esto no es para ti, no es para ti que te está sucediendo, es cómo esto impacta a tu entorno y quizás al mundo entero, entonces es importante eso.
Privacidad para mí porque nos han enseñado mal. Ahí voy yo con la parte polémica. Nos han enseñado mal y nos acostumbramos a que es normal que sepan todo acerca de nosotros,
Sí.
El sistema financiero tradicional y la tecnología blockchain y Zcash en particular, lo que hace es empoderarnos, ese poder de nosotros decidir qué compartir, cuándo compartir. Entonces, creo que la gente tiene que descubrir ese poder que nos da Zcash.
Así es.
Entonces, privacidade é uma das coisas que pode ser um futuro melhor para Venezuela, por exemplo?
Sí.
Sim.
¿Y Brasil?
E Brasil?
Sin duda alguna,
Com certeza,
sí.
sem dúvida.
Sí, sí.
Sem dúvida. E é isso, pessoal. Essa foi a nossa entrevista aqui. Eu gostaria que vocês deixassem uma mensagem para o pessoal do Brasil que está nos assistindo, mas também uma mensagem para todos da comunidade Zcash. ¿Quieres que traduza, no?
No.
Okay.
Miren, un mensaje final, educarse, hay que educarse mucho, tenemos que seguir construyendo en comunidad. A veces pensamos que el trabajo es de uno solo, pero es de todos. y bueno, sobre todo que veamos oportunidades más allá de lo que tradicionalmente nosotros conocemos, porque hay un mundo de opciones más allá de lo que a veces nuestros ojos están viendo en un momento determinado.
Mi mensaje final es que no sabía que entendía tan bien el portugués y ya puedo ir a Brasil. Y de verdad que el mensaje, sin duda alguna, es aprendan, dedíquense a aprender, a educarse en estos temas porque es bien, bien importante. Mucha gente dice que es el futuro. No, es el presente. Así que hay que aprender ya.
Así es.
E é isso, pessoal. Obrigado. Até mais.
Gracias.
Bye bye, chao.
Awesome. That was cool. Thank you very much for that.
Gracias, Ryan.
Gracias,
I hope
Ryan.
that was helpful and
Yeah, great.
excellent.
Thank you
Yeah.
for everything.
Zero Darts, could you work the camera a bit? Actually, if you turn your chair a little bit more this way.
I think it would be better to look to camera,
Camera,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Vamos a continuar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sí, sí.
Seguimos de...
Vamos a necesitar un poquito de ayuda con la traducción. En todo caso.
Okay.
Nos traduces al portugués
sí.
y nosotros entendemos mejor.
No entendemos un poquito.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. We're here with the ZFAV Club, and we just started with an interview with Zcast, and that was fantastic. And Vitor
From PrivacyMap.
from PrivacyMap. Okay. And Vitor, am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that- okay.
that's right.
Cool. Excellent. And we're here at Zcon4. We're live and having a great time.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Everyone's having a really good time. It's a fantastic event. And what I would like to do now is get people from the event to come in and talk to us, but we are talking to an empty room.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want, if one of you could go out and try to find people to bring in and
Yeah,
talk to, or John can do it. John, do you think you could find some people for us to talk to? Okay. Do you want to come on and talk with us?
People is eating and drinking.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of drinking, my drink is over there. So we've just started the first day, or we just finished the first day of Zcon4 here in Barcelona, and it was a full packed day of very good talks. I think Zuko was on stage for half of the day, and
Zuko causó sensación.
yeah,
A lot of sensations
yeah.
coming from Zuko, of course.
So what was all your favorite part of today?
First you.
La conferencia de Zuko, sin duda alguna, y bueno, definitivamente la conferencia de Ryan, de Ian, que bueno, tocó un tema que para mí es importante, que es el trabajo comunitario, y eso siempre es bueno saberlo, entenderlo y quizás ver hacia dónde vamos como comunidad en un corto, mediano y largo plazo y qué tenemos que hacer para involucrarnos más. Creo que eso fue una de las cosas más impactantes de hoy.
My favorite part, the place, to know people like you, Ryan. Thank you for this opportunity. To look in person Zuko and other people of the community is to me a great pleasure.
For me, it was a lot of sensations too, as you said. but the great part is to look at this strong community that we are building. This is massive, of course. And it's not all about Zcash, but it's about freedom, privacy. So this is important too. So have in person here in Barcelona to meet these people was I don't know, I can't explain. Awesome, of course.
La multiculturalidad que hay aquí es impresionante. Además que, bueno, siento que de alguna manera todos, aunque no hablemos el mismo idioma, nos hemos comunicado como hemos podido y la verdad creo que ese ha sido un intercambio también muy interesante que pone también de manifiesto cómo que no importa en qué parte del mundo tú estés, si quieres hacer algo, lo vas a hacer y si quieres entender de privacidad, de seguridad, lo vas a poder hacer también. Entonces creo que es una de las cosas que nos llevamos hoy también.
So the other thing that we're experiencing and trying to explore at this Zcon that we've never done before is other languages, other human languages.
Yeah.
And as people watching may have noticed, we're speaking 2 different languages here. And we have an amazing support system in Zcash en Español. And they're very active, the Zcash en Español community on Huva, the app that we're all using to communicate here. And we also have Robmar, who is restreaming all of the Zcon4 content in beautiful, with a beautiful layout and with Spanish subtitles that are all being live translated. And he's been doing all of the Zcon, I believe just the talks that he's interested in, because we do have 2 talks or 2 stages happening. And that's what I would have done if I was in his position, you know, pick and choose and what he wants to do there. So you 2 have worked with Robmar before?
Sí. Trabajamos, bueno, lo conocimos a Robmar hace un mes.
En la Sea Party.
En la Sea Party estuvimos en casa, hicimos una fiesta para invitar a Zcashers para desvirtualizar, conocernos en persona, y justo Robmar viajó desde su ciudad a la nuestra para que lo conociéramos, y bueno, juntos también estamos trabajando en algunos otros proyectos, hacemos algunas otras cosas para la comunidad. Cuando tenemos que hacer algún tipo de creación de contenido, siempre le tocamos la puerta a Robmar: por favor, ayúdanos, diseña esto, ayúdame con este video, porque de verdad que tiene un talentazo, decimos en Venezuela, y bueno, de alguna manera creo que todos los que nos escuchan también tienen que ver las oportunidades que hay dentro de la comunidad y cómo podemos trabajar en conjunto sin necesidad de hablar el mismo idioma o estar en el mismo sitio, sino simplemente tener las ganas de hacer algo.
Robmar is always ready to collaborate, to help.
I love that.
He has a lot of experience working with multimedia, and you're looking her job.
Yeah, he really, the experience that he has really shows, and he has just stepped up and to participate. He DM'd me in Discord, which I encourage anyone to do if you want to figure out how you can be involved with the ZFAV Club, how you can be involved in content creation for Zcash, about Zcash. Just join our Discord, DM me on Twitter, get a hold of me, and we can figure out what it is that you want to do. And this Robmar is a perfect example of this, that he reached out and asked, hey Ryan, what can I do? How can I participate in what you're doing?
Siempre Robmar tiene una frase: llámenme a cualquier hora si necesitan algo. Y es literalmente que si a las 3 de la mañana Robmar necesita un video, y él lo va a hacer. Entonces nos encanta siempre trabajar con él en equipo. Así que Robmar, besos.
The nickname of Robmar is El Muñeco.
El muñeco.
El muñeco.
Así que ya sabes, Robmar, estamos revelando intimidades por acá.
Yeah, he has absolutely been my hero today, my personal hero in his productions, and it's the first Zcon live stream that is happening outside of the venue, and totally he crowdfunded his production. Most of it happened through Free to Z, and then he got additional support from the Zcash Foundation to be able to upgrade his equipment and upgrade his internet connection for this event so that he could deliver the best possible live stream, and he's nailing it. He's really doing a great job. So I'm incredibly appreciative. And this is really my vision of what the ZFAV Club was about, was finding people who want to collaborate, who have interests in Zcash that are not necessarily the math and the engineering and the cryptography. I am not good
Developer.
at math. Yeah, I'm a web developer, and I sit in these rooms and I feel imposter syndrome like crazy. But we have other things that we can do to support each other and to support the Zcash community.
Siempre tenemos algo. Yo llamo que nuestra cabeza es una caja de herramientas. Siempre tenemos algo en nuestra cabeza y como talento que nosotros podemos poner al servicio de la comunidad donde hacemos vida. Yo siempre digo que uno no puede estar en una comunidad y ser un mirón de palo, decimos en Venezuela. Tenemos que ser activos y buscar la manera de, con ese talento, llevar la comunidad a otro nivel. Porque creo que es trabajo de todos que de alguna manera podamos ir colaborando y que las comunidades vayan creciendo, se vayan fortaleciendo y vayan promoviendo el proyecto en el que estamos. Entonces creo que eso sucedió muy bien dentro de la comunidad latina y una muestra de eso es que otros proyectos, otros espacios de Zcash están contando con el apoyo de la comunidad latina y eso siempre es fantástico.
The blockchain projects, I think, are bigger and stronger than their communities. If they have bigger communities, compromise, the projects will be bigger.
Bigger and stronger.
And stronger.
The communities have powers.
Yeah, the strength is in the community, I believe, and the communities. Like you said, it's more than one community. Zcash is more than one community, and we are all learning now how to collaborate and how to work together. And it's really so early in Zcash, and that we're now facing these challenges. And I have done most of my live streaming solo and alone at these events, and this is the first time where I have an actual crew of people.
The Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
Y te sientes más relajado. You are relaxed now.
Yeah, relaxed, right?
Relax.
You can
Relax.
delegate and cooperate with other people.
Yes, and that's what I'm learning how to do now, and it's amazing having people step up and have the initiative to support and to work together.
Y es la base de la descentralización. Hablamos de descentralización. Tenemos que practicar descentralización. Y es una muestra. El poder decirle a otro, mira, necesito ayuda con esto, o encárgate tú, mientras yo hago otra cosa, habla muy bien de la descentralización. Entonces eso es lo que queremos. No queremos una comunidad que sea un monopolio al final del día.
So, Vitor, PrivacyMap, you said? Do you want to tell us about PrivacyMap?
Oh, great. Hey guys, Vitor, as known as Pio, Vitor Pio. I'm from PrivacyMap, a movement in Brazil that wants to spread privacy to everyone. And yeah, if you know Naomi Brookwell, we kind of do the similar the work as Naomi do. It's a kind of inspiration for us. And Zcash Brazil is supporting our project, so we create open source contents, collaborative contents, and recently we was creating some guides to spread privacy in favelas in Brazil with some young people. So we need this support as a community to keep our community strong and community for privacy project Zcash much stronger.
I like it.
Yeah, because if people don't know what privacy is, I don't know if we as a community will be great in the future or be improve or our project will be better in the future.
Es lo que soporta el proyecto y al final hace que crezca.
Yeah, and I need to onboard privacy to people with easy materials, how can use this right tool to my job or to do this thing. So we're trying to get as easy as possible to these people. And this is a few of our work. But yeah, I'm very, very happy that I had this opportunity to come to here to understand a little bit more about privacy. In Zcash Brazil, we make Zcon Voices. It was a great event, and this is another great event too. So yeah,
Another level.
yeah, another level too.
I like your point of we need explaining, not necessarily explaining what privacy is to people, but having a story about privacy to tell to people in a way that they can identify with, I think is really important. And we all come from different parts of the world. We all have different understandings of privacy and different needs for privacy.
That is privacy, because privacy is about the person, right? About you. You have a choice, and that's why we call it PrivacyMap, because each one's at different levels of privacy. Each one has a different threat model. So if some things matter to you, probably don't matter to me. But that's privacy, that's right. So it's about this.
Privacy is liberty.
Yeah.
And power. And power.
And on Zcast, you must talk about privacy a lot, I would imagine. And
With Bochinche.
With Mochinche. And so can you tell us a little bit about your privacy story or the story that you tell in Zcast, if you could?
A ver, cuando nosotros decidimos apostar por hacer un podcast, era también con la mirada no solamente en nuestra historia, con lo que estaba pasando en Zcash y nuestra propia privacidad, sino cómo mostrarle al mundo que podían aprender de privacidad, de criptografía, no del nivel técnico, sino lo que estaba pasando y cómo esas noticias impactan en lo que tú estás haciendo día a día. Y de eso se trata un poco Zcast. Zcast es un podcast un poco distendido, es un podcast a veces muy divertido, pero donde enseñamos a la gente que puede acercarse a la privacidad como lo hicimos nosotros, desde el talento, desde la necesidad personal,
Thanks.
pero también entendiendo cuál era la necesidad del entorno, que eso es básicamente lo que hacemos en Zcast. Bueno, ¿qué está sucediendo en este ecosistema donde nos movemos? ¿Cómo nosotros podemos aportar algo y cómo una vez que yo lo sé, puedo replicarlo en otro? Eso era lo que queríamos hacer con Zcast. Son muy pocos episodios quizás para decir hoy en día ya lo estamos logrando, pero creo que vamos muy encaminados hacia esa meta, a que la gente aprenda de privacidad de manera muy sencilla.
I think that testimonials has power, and the people believe when see true testimonials. I think that as is our proposal with Zcast, that the people see and say, I believe in Aura, I believe in Roosevelt.
A crear en la comunidad también, porque al final nosotros somos una cara visible, pero detrás de lo que nosotros estamos haciendo o para poder dar la información que nosotros damos, hay un montón de trabajo que está sucediendo en la comunidad, porque Zcast se alimenta de lo que pasa en la comunidad, no es algo que inventamos, no es algo que Roosevelt y Aura se les ocurrió un día, estaban acostados y dijimos, ay, vamos a pararnos a hablar de esto, no, sino que estamos viendo qué está haciendo la comunidad y eso lo ponemos ahí de manera muy digerible, muy fácil, muy sencilla y bueno, en ocasiones muy divertida con bochinche también.
In another idea, Ryan, the access to financial system, bankless. The people in our country don't have easy access to money, to a system, bankery system. It's hard, and blockchain, cryptocurrency is freedom.
It's a bit of a solution to that.
It's a solution.
That's it.
And on that note, you're also funded through the Zcash Foundation Minor Grants program, correct? And
Yes.
how many? What was the terms of that grant? Do you have a certain amount of episodes you're doing, or some length of time that you'll be doing it?
We go to have one season with 12 episodes and more. Here in Barcelona, we're going to make more
Sí.
episodes. That's the original plan. In the way we're looking for any change, but
Sí.
with grant or not, we are compromised to continue with our message.
Zcast.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Sí.
Yeah, I love
Estamos
it.
muy emocionados. Creo que una de las cosas que nos sucedió a nosotros con el Minor Grants fue precisamente entender que habían oportunidades y que hay que creer. O sea, cuando tú sientes que tienes un talento y que ese talento lo puedes poner al servicio de la comunidad, te toca accionar. Mucha gente a veces se queda pensando, tengo esto, ¿cómo lo comparto o no lo quiero compartir? Y nuestra invitación es que vean que hay cosas que están sucediendo. Y quizás Zcast es una muy mínima parte de todo lo que sucede en el ecosistema que está ahí para todos. Esto no es para Aura, para Roosevelt, para los que estamos acá. Es para cualquier persona que se decida accionar en algo. Entonces creo que también ese es un buen mensaje que la gente se debe llevar de las subvenciones o de todo lo que pasa en eventos como este, porque al final es una solución.
Like Victor says, for any kind of people.
That's it.
Yeah, privacy is for everyone.
Forever.
That's amazing. I love the work that you're doing on Zcast.
Gracias.
And I need to look
Thank
into
you.
PrivacyMap, but it's a pleasure to meet you here as well. Like we've spoken before at the meetup, with the ZFAV meetup, and it was great to meet you then. But now to meet you in real life in 3D, it's a fantastic
No
experience.
somos inteligencia artificial, somos reales.
Flesh and bones.
Yeah, and that's really the power of Zcon, I
That's
think, is bringing us together, giving us a chance to have long conversations that aren't read off of a page or off of a forum or even worse in tweets. Like we all have a certain, especially privacy people, have a certain personality that we put out into our publicity, into our tweets and into our blog posts or on Zcast. And when we meet in person and we're able to have conversations with each other, we learn so much more about each other and who we really are. And that's not, it's all, the privacy part still comes into play because that's our values. This is what we love. But there's this consensual connection that happens where we decide, like, we have these values in common, and I want to get to know you, I want to get to know you and you, and we don't necessarily have to betray our own privacy values in order to do that, and we can come together over our privacy, we can come together because we care so much about privacy, and at the same time, learn more about each other, that privacy isn't the only thing we care about, because otherwise we wouldn't talk to each other, right?
De hecho, creo que es algo bien interesante que nos ha pasado desde que llegamos a la Zcon, porque la gente se acerca a preguntarnos cómo es la situación en Venezuela, qué se está haciendo allá, cómo ven ustedes el futuro inmediato, el futuro a largo plazo. Lo hablábamos con Víctor en el desayuno, y esto me hace recordar una frase que nos dijo Zuko en el episodio en que lo entrevistamos, y él nos decía, cuando vayan a la Zcon van a aprender mucho en las conferencias, pero las mejores cosas se van a dar en los pasillos. Y eso a nosotros nos está sucediendo, y qué chévere poder conectar con gente que tiene tu misma visión o que tiene una visión diferente, pero respeta los puntos de vista. Entonces, eso creo que ha sido fantástico.
This is only
también.
the first day of the Zcon.
Falta muchísimo.
I think, Ryan, that we're building here with the privacy information is for our entire life.
Sí.
That's the future of the slogan of the Zcon4.
Claro. Estamos escribiendo el futuro, literalmente.
Yeah, I love that, and I agree. And this Zcon has a bigger feel to me than the other Zcons. The community feels bigger. The community feels more represented. The diversity of interests is greater. We have more people who are interested in media and interested in different aspects of Zcash other than the people building the protocol.
Sí.
And I, like you said, it's only the first day. This has been so packed. We still have 2 more days to go. And I'm actually on a panel tomorrow. This is my 5th Zcon, and it's the first time I'm going to be on stage at Zcon. And I'm going to be on a panel and giving a presentation. So I was nervous about this, and then I realized I'm going to be talking to a room full of my colleagues and people who I've worked with for years. So it'll be fine. but that imposter syndrome kind of comes back because I'm like, I'm not a mathematician. I'm bad at math.
Tienes que hacer un truco que yo pienso cada vez que voy a tener una conferencia. Si estoy nerviosa, es porque estoy viva. Ese es el truco.
This is our first Zcon, and yours too.
Yeah.
And Zcon voice.
Yeah,
Zcon voices. And your?
It's
How
my
many?
5th. Yeah, because we started at Zcon 0, and so
The experience.
but control counts? Yeah, so it's my 3rd.
In Venezuela we say veterano. You are veterano.
yeah, a little bit.
Veteran.
Yeah,
We are rookie.
that's okay. Yeah, we all have to start somewhere, and really like it's your first Zcon in person, all of you, and you're coming from these communities that have been previously underrepresented in Zcon, I believe. And now we're seeing in real life again, we're seeing these parts of the community that people who we haven't met before. And really figuring out, like I said before, we're figuring out how to work together. We're figuring out how to communicate. And like with this Zeal Talk thing we're doing here, I wanted to do it yesterday, but everything's an experiment and it didn't work. So we got to set it up today, and hopefully we could do another one tomorrow. And then maybe the next day, who knows? We're going to be exhausted by the time we get to the end of this
To the
thing.
pool.
Yeah, to the pool. We can
Streaming
be
to the pool.
filmed at the pool. I love the idea.
Seals on the pool.
Thanks for this space, for this time. I love it.
Sí, gracias por la invitación y bueno, todos los que nos están escuchando, manténganse atentos de todo lo que está pasando, por ahí están viendo un montón de transmisiones, así que disfruten también como estamos disfrutando nosotros esta Zcon. Bye bye.
Cool. I think we're
Thanks.
done, yeah? Okay, we're going to cut, and we'll be back tomorrow or the next day or at some point. Stay tuned, and look at Twitter at ZFAV Club, and you'll be able to find everything that we're doing at Zcon4 there, and a whole bunch of retweets of all the pictures and videos that people are making. And yeah, join us. Thank you very much. Bye everyone.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Break there, and then cool. We just went live again here. Okay. And we are back.
Maybe don't ask me that because I was
Aditya.
for my presentation.
Have a seat.
Come on in.
Here's a microphone for you.
All right. Perfect.
Our awesome
Is there one more format?
little microphones. We can clip this on too.
I can hold it.
Yeah? Okay.
Are we doing visual on this too?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. This is being streamed out to YouTube.
oh, we're live.
Yes, we're live.
Hello,
Great.
world.
Hello,
I should
everybody.
have told you that before you got on camera.
I consent. Worry not.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we are live on the ZFAV Club YouTube, and this is being restreamed by Robmar with Spanish subtitles onto the Zcash en Español assets on Free to Z on YouTube and into the Discord Zcash Global Spanish voice channel as well. So
all right.
we're covering all the bases, and now I'm joined with the crew from Nighthawk Apps.
Hello.
Hi. So, Aditya, would you like to tell us what you're experiencing or what your experience at Zcon has been like so far?
Like Zcon is an event where you get to connect with.
Oh, you have it there.
I do have it. Can you check
sorry.
it? All right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
So we get to connect with so many diverse perspectives and Zcashers from around the world. So I'm really thankful that ZF makes this event happen. I was lucky to attend last year's event in person in Vegas. And before that, I had attended the events virtually. So this really makes a difference. Of course, you can watch the sessions later or live stream it. But when you actually talk to the people behind the projects, you learn about their intentions, what they're going through, where do they see the future going, what are the expectations from Zcash, or the other cryptocurrencies that they use, right? So there's a lot you get to learn, and this is the bear market right now, as we all know. It's a time to build. Their tensions are even higher, so expectations are even higher. So you get to basically learn from everyone's perspectives and make a plan to move ahead. Matt here is new to Zcash. We got him on Nighthawk this January. So Matt, do you want to talk about your experience so far?
Yeah, it's been really interesting just seeing, because I've kind of been like a skulker a little bit on the forums and kind of in the community online, just because, I don't know, maybe it's like imposter syndrome or something, but just being so new to the community, I just, I haven't established as many opinions as some of the other folks have, so I tend to be less vocal, but it's very interesting to meet everybody, to hear people's thoughts and just how passionate they are about this ecosystem. And it's very cool to just see how invested people are in it. So it's been really fun so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the conference. It's going to be great.
Yeah, the passion is real. And that's definitely noticeable. Like you can feel it when you're in these conversations with people, and we start talking about the stuff that we really care about, and we're enthusiastic about it, and the personalities of all of us come out, and it's that passion that drives it out, I think. And it's everyone here is passionate about privacy, but also some other part of that is the Zcash ecosystem. Like, for example, wallet developers. Can you tell us a little bit about Nighthawk?
Yes, I hope you still attend our session on day 3 because
That's what I
we'll be
was going to
going
ask.
over
You're
our
doing a
roadmap.
session, right?
Yes, we are. So Nighthawk originally started in 2020 as a hackathon project organized by the ECC. And our aim at that time was, like personally for me, I wanted to make a usable wallet for myself and our user base, the Boston Zcash user group. So we had certain criteria that we wanted a shielded only wallet, right? So no transparent ZEC. We actually blocked users to send ZEC out to transparent addresses as well in the beginning. So we are that hard focused on privacy. Of course, no logging. It's a tough thing to do in mobile software development where you want to learn from your users about how their experience has been, to collect logs. But having been software developers ourselves, we know how much extra logging and surveillance can leak your information. So we didn't want to do that. So we worked closely with our early users to develop that experience, learned a bunch of stuff, got a UX designer funded who built a new UX that we'll be relaunching soon. Because design is important. There are people out there using their banking apps, their P2P payment apps, and they have set expectations of how payments should work like. Even beyond, okay, so those are the new users that we aim to target for Zcash adoption. But even the existing cryptocurrency users, they have set expectations of how their mobile wallets of other cryptocurrencies work. So it's a long way to get there. The thing I find missing in Zcash is dev tooling, and that can be as described as something you introduce to new developers, like, hey, you want to try Zcash? If you have a Mac, just go to brew, install ZKit. If we had something like that that existed, you can attract new developers and make them work. So it took us extra time to dive deeper in Zcash, find gaps and overcome a lot of things. And just at the time when we released a working product for about 6 months in 2022, we had good times, Z2Z messaging parties and all, but then the spam attack started after the NU5. That really pushed us back, right? Because our users could no longer keep up with the chain. User experience dropped. There were other issues, like I was serving on the Zcash grants committee at the time, so I could not like fund our developers. And I mean, it was the pandemic also. You should not forget, people are going through a lot of different challenges. Yes. Personal issues of developers and contributors, and it was a hard time overall. So, but we're still dedicated to the mission. We want to have tools delivered to people living in areas where the oppression is real, oppression of people is real, surveillance is real, censorship. So much censorship happened in the last couple of years. People are even scared to have their own opinions voiced, like which messaging app can you trust? So these kind of topics keep us driven, and we are now soon to relaunch our application with the improved software syncing algorithm, thanks to Strad, who works at the ECC, where those dimensions are going to help us. It did come with a lot of delay and challenges. We'll be diving deeper into that later. But we're getting there where we will have a supreme premium ZEC user experience, and we want to have that, not only for ourselves, but for everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And the fact that you are designing it as a user as well. So this is something that, I mean, there wasn't a Zcash wallet with the GUI for so long. The Zcash wallet that we had to use was, that we had to work with, was command line, Linux only, Zcash D, essentially. And
I do want to give credit to ZEC Wallet, the other Aditya PK. He proved that you can actually have a companion wallet app and use sapling shielded pool, which was new in 2018, to start actually making ZEC usable, shielded ZEC usable on wallets, mobile wallets. So that was huge. So he's been our inspiration. He has motivated me personally when I came to develop wallets. Unfortunately, he's no longer active in the community right now, but we are happy with our path we have chosen. We are building native applications for Android and iOS. But ZEC Wallet was actually a really good wallet for the longest period.
yeah, it was. It was really nice. And then ZEC Wallet Lite was also really good software. And unfortunately, none of that is maintained anymore, like you said. And I still see people posting in the forum and in the different Discord channels that they run into some problem using ZEC Wallet because it's not maintained anymore. It's not supported anymore.
Right.
And that's so important when we have communities, when we have communities building wallets and building tools, that they need a sustainable way in order to maintain that, because software needs to be maintained.
Absolutely, like we do have a self-sustainable dev funding model in Zcash. Like people tend to forget, like who's funding all this? Any cryptocurrency they see number going up, you got to find out, like follow the money, who started this cryptocurrency and what were their intentions? Was that something that was funded by a recent round of like Silicon Valley investors? Are they planning to like dump it on the retail once they go live on mainnet? There are so many different ways people fund their projects. Money does speak volumes though, because if you have cash, you can attract cryptographers and leading teams to build out your product. In Zcash, we have taken the hard path. That is, let's not have conflicts of interest with third parties and outside people. Let's try to convince that, hey, we could use the block rewards as a means to not only secure the network with proof of work, but consider the security and funding of protocol development, application development, and funding the active people who are actually making a difference for Zcash around the world, paying them from the block rewards themselves, and they can just do what's best, because if they were funded by some third parties, if there's some censorship and oppression going on, they will be targeted and the funding might be cut off. But if you're paid from the block rewards, well, you are directly paid from a decentralized network. Who's gonna stop a decentralized network?
Yeah, and this dev fund then, in case anyone is watching doesn't know, the dev fund is a percentage of each block reward that is paid out to various entities. So Electric Coin Company, Zcash Foundation, and the Zcash community grants, which you, Aditya, you had mentioned that you were on the community grants board when, and then you transitioned to working just on Nighthawk apps. And so that was, what was your experience like working in ZCG?
Well, it was only the second year of the community-run grants committee. I think the first thing we did was change the name from ZOMG because we thought it might not attract a wide variety of applicants from different phases. So we changed it to Zcash Community Grants as a thing driven by the community interests. So it was a hard start, I think, for the previous committee, right? They were just learning about how do we go about funding, how do we evaluate grants, which grants do we fund, how do we focus on things without having overlap on what ZF or ECC is already doing. And so on one side, we had grants that were being applied and we're reviewing them. Other side, we had our own proposals that we're building, the request for proposals. We had certain ideas of what the community needs, and we were learning from the forum users what community needs, and we developed proposals for those so people can apply. Like I made the proposal RFP for making a unified UniFFI library for Zcash. So any programmer in Python, Java, Kotlin can use the basic cryptography methods for accessing Zcash. It doesn't have the syncing and the heavy lifting stuff, but at least you can get started with the crypto aspects of the Zcash network. So there have been such initiatives we took. But of course, so much learning curve, we realized we didn't have enough time to evaluate. Like we are given 15 hours a month compensation from ZF. But again, who's to stop you from working more? So some of us actually put in way more hours, reaching out to people, taking initiatives, going to conferences and growing. But while all of this was happening, in the broader market, what was happening? With the whole bust of the SBF, FTX, the coin price kept going down, 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 down. So when I joined the committee in January, we had a treasury of $26.5 million. And by the time my tenure was over, it had reduced to $2.6 or $3 million.
Just because of the market.
Correct. So that changed a bunch of things for us. The lacking thing I feel I can talk is, I think this is public information, right? So we did not hedge our money. Like we did not store a sell ZEC for USD or USDC. We just held the ZEC we get from the block rewards and decided to release it as we feel when we voted on grants and evaluated them. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of challenges. You have 5 different people, you have a voting, you have regular brainstorming sessions. it was a bunch of work. It's
Yeah, well, and like you're saying, this is the beginning of this process. We're so early in Zcash that we're still trying to figure out what we're doing.
correct.
And it's like trying to change a jet engine while in flight, and like changing the name of the grant committee doesn't even sound like that big of a deal, but it's decisions that have to be made in order to figure out like how we best attract the best talent,
Correct.
how we get the best applicants for the grants, and changing the name might be the way to do that. And then there's also communication throughout the ecosystem between the communities. And so Matt, you said that you're new to Zcash.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and was it Nighthawk that brought you into Zcash? Did you have some interest before that?
Well, actually, Adi had asked me to get involved in some development with Nighthawk. I think a year or two prior to me actually joining, and just with at least my perceived skill set or just the situation in life at the time, I didn't end up joining in any meaningful capacity, but I was aware of Zcash at that time and kind of what it was about. And then, in January of this year, Adi reached out to me to see if I would be interested in helping out with this new version of Nighthawk. And it was really interesting because I had, at the time, been going through and learning the composable architecture, which is it's an iOS Swift architecture that these guys, Point Free Co, they build. If you're a Swift developer, great guys over there. And he reached out to me and asked me if I'd be willing to help with this fork of ECC's wallet. And he said it uses TCA. And I'm like, I've literally just been spending the last 2-3 months learning TCA. So the timing was right, and I felt like my skill set was up to the task. So I jumped in, and that's kind of where we're at now. So
that's very cool. And it's really nice to meet you here at this event for the first time.
Yeah.
DT and I, we've met before. We met at Zcon, I think, for the first time at Zcon4. And how does, in your experience being the second time at Zcon in person, how does this Zcon4 compare to Zcon3?
Again, for me personally, I'm kind of an introvert, like any
Like
developer.
a lot of us
or something.
privacy folks.
Exactly. So the first year was more of like just getting to test the waters, meeting some people for the first time. Now it's more like people, so you can help other people to connect and see new connections forming. So it's much easier for the second year. If you leave out the fact that we still don't have a working wallet in the hands of our users yet, with the delays in our relaunch. So yeah, it's a mixed feelings over here right now, but overall positive. We're going to get it out there, our third milestone for this year, and we'll take our feedback from our users.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's a really good attitude to have about it, and it really speaks to this passion that we had mentioned before. And it's interesting because when you're talking about how you work more hours than maybe you should, or we're so passionate about Zcash. I know that I do this, that it's like, okay, so I've worked enough hours this week, but there's all this other stuff I want to do. And it's like Zcash kind of becomes life at that point. And I just dealt with burnout a couple of years ago. It's a real problem, especially in developer communities.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for how to, I guess, better manage our time and energy? I mean, you've been through it with Nighthawk apps. And
I know it's tough. I think it's unique to every individual. How much burnout can you handle? Like, I've worked in the software development for more than 10 years, and we've had intense burnout working as a contractor and a consultant. So for me personally, I try to find a hobby away from keyboard, AFK. So, and for me, it's cooking. I cook for myself, and I go for runs. I run. The running helps me personally. I run full marathons. I'm going to run the Berlin Marathon this year, again for the third time, hopefully. And yeah, that helps me take my mind off. But yes, you're right. The burnout and the ongoing discussions about your work or things, the forum, keeping up with so many things, developments happening. Even though we're such a small community, there's so much being discussed and developed. So it's both realizing that, hey, we are a small group of people coming up and developing this new revolution, while at the same time, you have to realize that life is important. You cannot burn yourself out, you know. You have to live your life day to day. You have to do the best. And only when you're healthy and feeling good, you're going to put the good out there.
Yeah, so true. So true. And I love how your hobbies are basically health. Like cooking for yourself, eating well, and running, and marathons at that. Matt, do you have any hobbies that help take your mind off of work things?
Yeah. I have to force myself to get away from the keyboard and do some hobbies. I am recently married, so thank you. I spend a lot of my time, you know, pouring into that and into my marriage, into my relationship with my wife. One of the things that we've been doing lately, just as a kind of take our mind off things, just fun thing to do together, is we play Mario Party on the Switch.
Nice.
We're both pretty competitive, but it always ends up being fun. And we also are trying to do more reading, get less screen time before bed, just because we both, we wake up and we're just really exhausted and really tired, and so we thought, well, maybe we'll try and reduce the screen time that we get before bed. So that's been helpful. Reading The Hobbit right now. Which,
also good.
Yeah, I really like that. And then I guess the only other one of the other hobbies that I have that I don't get to do as much during the summer, but I do during the school year, is play trombone. I played a lot of trombone in college, classical, jazz, and then the town that I live in is the same town that I went to university, and they have a trombone choir, and they invite community members to play. So I get to participate in that on a weekly basis, which is a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's awesome. The creative expression that you get from that, I'm sure, is very rewarding. And yeah. And then also like talking about the AFK hobbies, like my hobby is video games, and that, like, you probably see the shirt, and it's not that great of a hobby if you work on a computer all day long, because
Screen time, more screen
yeah,
time.
it's more screen time. And then I'm sitting there working and thinking like, oh man, I really want to be playing a game, and I'd be sitting in the same place doing this, looking at the same screen. And I think having a musical hobby is a really good escape from that. And then also fitness and cooking is excellent. And with music, actually, there's I don't know if you've heard about this, but on Free2Z, there's a musician who's doing music classes on there, and different string instruments. And I think it's a really cool use case for that platform. It's neat stuff.
yeah, very cool.
So that's Andres Palmer is the musician. You can check him out on Free2Z. And I hope to attend one of his classes sometime. The time zone thing is a bit tricky with all of our communities. And
It's all live, right? On Free2Z?
It's all live on Free2Z that he does it. I think it's once a week that he does it. Fridays, I want to say. But the time zones are really tricky with working with a global community, I think. I mean, like the Electric Coin Company and Zcash Foundation are all decentralized teams, and the Zcash community is spread all over the world, and now we're learning how to work together and find different tools to work together and to bridge language gaps and language barriers, and then we have time zones to deal with as well. And is your team decentralized in that way, where you have to try to solve these challenges of like time zones and coordination?
Yes, we are, primarily non-US based. So only two of our folks are in the US, Matt and another tester. I'm myself in Canada temporarily. I'm originally from India, so I have a couple of team members in India. Our designer is in Norway, and we have other contributors in Europe as well. And of course, the community is decentralized, and they have been making pull requests, also contributing to translations. So we look at it as an open project. But as our team, yes, we are spread across 2 time zones. It does help us maintain and ship critical issues if something does happen, especially the infrastructure that we run for the Zcash ecosystem with the lightwallet.com. Yeah, we need to have a quick turnaround if something goes down, because a lot of the ecosystem clients and wallets rely on that.
Yeah, that's a good point, that there is a benefit to having people spread out around the time zones, that you can cover the emergency things, and you can make good quick work of problems that you find. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Cool. Well, let's see. What else is... We still got 2 days of Zcon left. Like, we've only done the 1 day, and it seems like a full conference already.
Oh, yeah.
Like, with the amount of content, the quality of the content, the density of the content. So, the next 2 days, what are you looking forward to?
Just learning more about what else is happening in the ecosystem. There's a very large diversity of speakers this Zcon, and I just want to hear from everyone's works. Like today's session on programmability, the SOK programmability by Ying Tong and Daniel was very interesting, and a couple of other panels. So looking forward for more panels and one-on-one talks. And also I have a panel tomorrow. I'll be on the grants funding based panel. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I have one of those panels. On the third day, I have the Nighthawk Roadmap panel and a wallet working session. So it's going to be a long 2 days for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What about you, Matt? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think for me, the thing that I'm most looking forward to is, given that I'm still very early in my Zcash crypto journey, is just, letting my brain be a sponge, absorbing as much as I possibly can, learning about the ecosystem. And then the other aspect of it too is, just getting to know the human side of people, being able to stop talking shop for a second, being able to spend some time enjoying, a drink, just, breaking bread and all that sort of thing, just being able to, be a part of, a vibrant group of human beings. I think that is part of this that's going to be really exciting for me as well.
Yeah, I think that's really well said, because especially after the pandemic, where we couldn't be part of a group of vibrant human beings or a group of any human beings, and we weren't able to travel either, which really, we did Zcon4 was fully online, and then I think there was then Vegas happened after the year after that with masks and all of this, and the Zcon is such an important event for the Zcash community. I think that in-person events are vital for any decentralized global project, community, network, whatever it is, that we need to come together and have a chance to be in the same time zone and in the same space and talk to each other and share these things that we don't normally talk about when we're pitching our projects or when we're troubleshooting or when we're building. That's all work, that's all Zcash, and that's good and that's fine, it's awesome, but there's so much more to all of us.
Yeah, well, and I think the other thing that I would add to that too is that, just given the nature of what we do, we've talked about it, people have these broad varying opinions and thoughts about how, the project should go, what direction we should go. And when you're behind a keyboard, it's really easy to let yourself get, uncivil. It can very easily, spiral out of control. But, at an event like this, you're looking people in the eye, you're having conversations with them, and it causes you to take pause and think, okay, I'm gonna a little bit more tactfully disagree with you, or express those sorts of things that online it would be much easier to just go on a rant or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that all of the conversations, a lot of the debates and things that happen at Zcon, we try to be respectful, and it's like Dodger said something at the very beginning of his opening address, and he said, we do all disagree on some things. We have some pretty strong beliefs, and sometimes they don't always align, and the key is to be respectful, to listen, I think, is a really important thing. And this gets lost on the internet when there's text, and when there's that empty input box and a keyboard in front of you, then there's no listening in that equation.
No.
There's just none at all. And so, it's not even a fact of, it's not even like a matter of censoring ourselves when we're in person, but just being human.
Yeah.
More than being someone who's hidden by a machine or by the internet. So, yeah, I think that's really good stuff. And the Zcon is such an important event, and I'm really glad that you're both here. And
Yeah, totally, I agree. All the conferences around the world where crypto builders attend, that is where all the connections happen. Everything from almost every blockchain that has been spun since many years ago. At some time they met at a crypto meetup, including Zcash, I believe, right? So there was a Bitcoin meetup in San Diego many years ago.
The San Francisco Bitcoin meetup.
SF, okay. So that's where the connections were shared about, hey, we can add zero knowledge proofs to Bitcoin. So that are the first ideas there that, hey, let's take the ZK tech to cryptocurrency and give privacy to the masses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And now you're mentioning other conferences, other crypto conferences. Do you have any other favorite conferences that you've been to?
So Zcash is such a unique value proposition for the world. You can actually go to any conference and pitch privacy. So one of the favorite conferences of mine is the DEF CON that happens in Vegas. So I'm going, again, that's happening in 2 weeks. I was there last year as well. You can speak to all the hackers there, builders, people who care about their privacy, people building their own operating systems to recognize the importance of zero knowledge proofs and Zcash. Otherwise, I do attend the local meetups wherever in which city I am at. Connect with local builders, learn about their projects, ask them about what do they think about privacy, right? So where do they see its role? And such conversations then take you to a more deeper understanding of what you're truly building. Is it truly going to be usable? And does it protect your users and their actions and their intentions, etc.?
Yeah, I agree. It's and the meetups are sometimes more interesting, more beneficial than the big conferences. Like you mentioned DEF CON, and that was actually my first tech conference that I ever went to. And talk about imposter syndrome. I'm a web developer who wrote a couple blogs about full disk encryption. And my friend who ran the blog site, he knew I always wanted to go to DEF CON, so he got me a press pass to go. And I'm wandering around. I don't know anyone. I barely know what they're talking about. And I grew up on computers. I was running a bulletin board service in the late 80s and early 90s. And then I was making websites in like the mid 90s and then started doing it all then. So I consider myself relatively technical, but in that scene at DEF CON, when you're alone, like it's a really intimidating environment, and it's all very tech focused. Where at Zcon we have a huge, now this year especially, we have this real diversity of interests and ideas and people and backgrounds as well, that I feel like there's a different comfort level. That you can find someone to talk to and connect with, and it's not like everything is way over your head like it can happen at other conferences.
Yeah, and I would say that both of those things that you just described are benefits of this ecosystem. Because ever since my time in university, I've been I've just learned that being around people that are better than you, in a sense, or like smarter than you, or like they're better at something than you, can only help you. When I went to university, I thought I was like really good at trombone, but then I went and played in this music department that every single person was so much better than me, and I had this moment where I was like, dang it, everybody's way better than me. Like I want to practice and I want to get better. And I did. Like I ended up just becoming very good because I spent so much time in the practice room, because I was around people that were operating and playing at a very high level. And I think that we benefit from that in Zcash, right? Like I've met so many people that can talk crypto just off the top of their head, cryptography, and I'm like, I only know maybe 25% of the words that you're saying right now. But like me having that realization is just like, it pushes me in to learn and to do research and want to be better so that I can contribute at a high level, and then you get to pay that forward by being that person for somebody else. And then just like you said, add to that the fact that even with these really smart people, they're very approachable and they're very kind and they're very just welcoming. And I think that's just a testament to the group of people that you have here in this community working on this project. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree that this community and something about Zcash is bringing this community together that is very compassionate and very thoughtful. And I think you can see it in Zuko. You can see it in the people who work at ECC. You can see it in the foundation. You can everyone that we've talked to. There's a real level of respect and dignity that we're treated with and that we treat each other with. And I think, I know I've been at conferences, at tech conferences, where that's not a thing. And you just, it's like the classic thing of going to some forum and saying, hey, I have this problem. And then instead of someone giving you a solution, they call you an idiot. And that doesn't happen here. I don't think. I haven't experienced it. And I consider myself to be like the dumbest person in a lot of these rooms because, like you had mentioned, Ying Tong's talk today, and I sat in on that for a minute and was like, what the heck? Like, this is so far over my head. But luckily everything's being recorded, live streamed and recorded, so we can go back and watch it later. I can go back and watch it later and probably get a lot more out of it. And that's then using that dynamic to my benefit in order to become better. I don't expect to be doing anything like what Ying Tong's doing, but it's still valuable to know, have a rough idea of what other people in the ecosystem are working on and what they're doing. And then as a content creator, as someone with the ZFAV Club, one of my goals is to be able to kind of bridge that gap of how do we explain zero knowledge proofs to people? How do we get proper UX feedback on an application that doesn't log? And this is a common problem with decentralized projects in general, privacy projects. So there's some really interesting challenges for me to solve from what I bring to the conference and to the ecosystem.
Absolutely. All the work you're doing, like, who knows, in the future you'll be making videos and tutorials about programmability on Zcash.
Yeah, and that is really my goal, because what I can bring to other Zcashers is this ability to record, to live stream, to document, and then work with people who don't have the time or the interest in knowing that stuff, but their information is incredibly valuable. And like, for example, one of the things that I really want to do is have live stream calls with wallet developers and with ECC developers, and you go through their code, and basically like the way that you would add comments to your code to document your code. And now instead of a live coding type Twitch stream, you have a live documentation thing. And it could be, there might be some developer that's trying to learn how to code or how to build on your platform on Zcash, or how to maybe modify, make a pull request on one of the wallets, and they are having trouble with understanding a certain function or a certain method and how it works. And they can find that part in the video, and the developer, the person who wrote the code, is there to explain it to them.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea, actually. Even if we can make a bare minimum video for helping users open a pull request or filing an issue, right? So to describe the issue, the steps, many people are still new to the technical jargons and GitHub. So
Yes.
if you make it easy to understand video on how our users can open an issue against our wallet, that will help us fix it sooner and improve the wallet faster.
Yeah, it's so true that like there's so many learning curves and roadblocks that are involved that aren't about Zcash even. Like we're like GitHub, real clear like speed bump there. I think every time I try to use GitHub, I have to relearn how to use GitHub. And it's, I mean, there's other tools that make it better. I don't necessarily know those tools because I don't use it that often. I've used it for websites and things in the past. But having this kind of sort of parallel information it makes it easier for onboarding, we'll say, then I think that there's a lot of value to that. And looking outside of just Zcash. And what are the systems that are connected to Zcash? What are the communities that are connected to Zcash that we can then reach out to and help to learn from each other and collaborate. And like you say, like if someone finds a bug in your application, they don't have any clue how to get there and how to go, but they can Google like how do I create an issue, and then or DuckDuckGo or whatever you want to do, like you can do how to create an issue, and then it would come up with these videos that explain it specifically.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, how we can all work together and bring all of our different interests. I mean, it'd be awesome if we could have a live trombone party sometime.
You know what? We could probably make that happen.
Maybe after the launch of the wallet, right?
Yeah.
Not right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Adi wants to keep me focused on code.
Yeah, that's legit. I totally could appreciate that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Cool. So do we have someone else hello? Hi. Do you want to come talk to us?
Yeah.
And everyone watching the live stream is like, what's going on? Who's this? Who's coming up? Dan, can you check the camera for us? Yeah, just check the camera out.
Oh, are we live on the internet?
Yes, we are live on the internet. We're live on the ZFAV Club YouTube, and it is being restreamed by Robmar with Spanish subtitles onto Zcash in Espanol, free to Zcash in Espanol YouTube, and into the Zcash Global Discord in the Spanish voice chat.
Oh, cool.
So here's a microphone
That's
for
awesome.
you. Can I snag one of your microphones?
Sure.
Hola.
There we go. Cool. So, I don't think that this man needs an introduction, but just,
I'm Zuko.
this is Zuko, my friend and colleague, and the mastermind, along with the 7 scientists that brought us here.
I'm one of many.
One of many.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you were on stage a lot today.
Oh yeah, I'm tired of it.
You're
I'm
tired?
not being on stage tomorrow. It's going to be great. I'm going to be in the audience tomorrow. Oh
All
yeah.
right.
I was just about to ask what you were looking forward to, but now we know.
All of the talks, yeah. I was looking at the agenda and I want to see all the talks, so I'm going to watch all the talks tomorrow.
That's great. And did you have a chance to check any out today?
Yeah, some of them. I don't like the 2-track thing because then I'm forced to miss one sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, they're all online. They're being live streamed. You can watch them later. So
Sometimes hard to find the recordings later, right?
yeah, Zcash Foundation, the Zcash Foundation YouTube will have them, but there's
Okay.
going to be what, like 50 of them or something, and so going through and finding them, it's quite a catalog. Yeah, absolutely. And so of the times that you were on stage today, can you tell us about what your presentations were so people can find them and watch them?
The first one was ecosystem update from Electric Coin Company. So I had 15 minutes to describe what Electric Coin Company has done since Zcon4 and what we're currently working on. And the main thing was what we're currently working on, which is decentralizing Zcash and focusing ECC. I mean, that's the main thing that I wanted to talk about because we need other people's help with that one. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you are so mission-oriented. I think I have the mic.
Oh, you've got one.
To push that decentralization, because there's a lot of false rhetoric outside in the rest of the cryptoverse that maybe ECC is not interested to do that, to keep all the work to themselves. So
Yeah, it's really interesting how little information, little accurate information there is. I think about this a lot. There's like 1,000 people or something who have a lot of information, and then there's like, I guess 10,000 people who have this very limited information, and there's like 100,000 people who know almost nothing, about Zcash or about some topic. And there's a very large group of people, I think, who believe that Zcash is centralized and that I control it. And it's so not true nowadays. Like it was true like 7 years ago, more or less, I guess.
Maybe. I mean,
sort of.
I was here 7 years ago, and I wouldn't have thought of it that way necessarily.
Because it was already a fully decentralized network. It's just that I had almost all the control over like new development.
Yep.
like 7
Yeah,
or 8
and
years
organization
ago.
creation and all of
and
this.
stuff like that. But anyway, so as a obsessive like accuracy maximalist, it always bugs me when I see people saying things that aren't accurate. So anyway, hopefully the word will get out that Zcash is decentralized and that I do not personally control the future direction of it.
Yeah.
It'll be satisfying.
Absolutely, I agree. And now, so one thing that we're talking about a lot here on this talk show that we're doing is, and at Zcon4 in general, is the community and the Zcash community, the Zcash communities rather, the plural Zcash communities that are really making a show of force at this Zcon, I think.
Oh yeah.
So, and this is going back to the decentralization of the different ECC assets and the work and. I don't want to say pushing that stuff off onto the community, but supporting the community in collaborating and decentralizing the creative process. In some cases, we're talking about Z.cash and things like that. There's the creative process. There's the technical process. It's your 5th Zcon also. How has your experience been compared to other Zcons? Is there anything specific about this one that you noticed that's different?
Yeah, this one does seem to have a lot more like community energy instead of technology energy. which is nice. Although I'm a technologist and I really want to just geek out about new like crypto algorithms and stuff, but I could probably do that too now that I'm done with my talks. But anyway, there's lots of community happening here this time.
Yeah, yeah, there definitely is, and all sorts of different communities. Like there's the difference between the technical communities and the non-technical communities, so to speak. I consider myself part of the non-technical communities, and then you have the cryptographers and the protocol builders, and it's so much representation from all of these different communities and all of these individuals at this Zcon that you can really geek out on whatever it is you like to geek out on. And I think that's really, really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. How are you liking Barcelona?
I haven't really seen it yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw it through the plane window and through like the taxi window and through my hotel room window.
A lot of windows.
So far.
You didn't know Lennox? Just sorry,
Yeah.
horrible joke. It was right there. I had to take it. So,
How
being...
about you? How are you liking Barcelona?
Oh, I love
Looking for
Barcelona.
hot tips. After the conference is over, then I get to explore Barcelona, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, obviously, I've got to see the Sagrada Familia church.
That's the Gaudi Church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're going over there. I was told that I need to go there too.
Yeah, you also want to check it out. Yeah.
Like the whole city is inspired. The architecture is inspired by the Gouda, right? So
If we went back to hobbies briefly, one of my other things that I really enjoy is cigars. So if anybody knows of a good place kind of in the area where you can buy a good cigar and maybe some scotch, let me know, because
That sounds
that
fun.
sounds delightful. So.
Cigars and scotch?
So yeah, we were talking about hobbies, and while I have you here, do you have any hobbies that help take your mind off of Zcash?
Oh, yeah. I play a team first-person shooter with my kids, and they're way better than I am at it.
But you still have fun, right?
Yeah.
And you get to play with your kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the important part. Yeah, it's so important to have these hobbies, the things that take our mind off of work and be able to get out. And I would imagine kids is a great thing. I don't have any kids, but I would imagine that's a great and compassionate and fulfilling escape.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's excellent. Is there any, or are there any non-talk kind of events that you're really looking forward to at Zcon4? Things that maybe you had a taste of at a previous Zcon that isn't happening in the track rooms?
I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
I wanted to go on your walking tour of Barcelona, but then I realized I need to have meetings.
Yeah, that's why the walking tour of Barcelona exists. It's a Zcon tradition of mine to do the outside track, and I started this in Montreal because I was working for ECC at the time and live streaming ZF for Zcon, and I noticed that like I'm not getting outside at all, and I need some nature. So at first I was calling it the nature track, and then in Vegas there's no nature. So I think I had to rename it to the outside track, which is kind of nice too. Yeah, so it'd be great to have you if you could get out of the meetings, because it's exactly why it exists, is to get out of the meetings.
Well, let's see if something fun comes up once I recover from my day.
Yeah, a little recovery is absolutely what we all need.
I think it was Zcon 0 in Montreal where we did karaoke. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't think I was there, but I do remember hearing about it. And karaoke is a really great activity for these sorts of events. Back to the music, man.
Yeah, I think just being in Barcelona, one thing that we should tap into is the siesta hour, you know, because that's the big cultural thing, is just, it's baked in, so.
yes,
There you
Does
go.
that mean having a nap in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
down.
That's right. So you need to leverage your siesta, Zuko.
maybe after the conference.
Yeah, I really think that they should have built the siesta into the schedule. I noticed that it wasn't there, and they should have embraced that.
There's the guy.
Yeah, next year. Cool. It's so great to see you. We only get to see each
thanks.
other about once a year,
Yep.
and it's not enough. And then like we're both busy
Yeah.
at these events, so it's always in passing. And here we have a chance to sit down and actually talk. So I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can breathe now.
All right.
Even though you're still on stage. Sorry to wrangle you in like that, but
That's okay.
yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I know the honor's mine. It's doing these kind of live streams and being able to just sit and talk and have a conversation and in the way that we do in the sort of the lobby track at these events.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm trying to kind of get a sense of that and get a feeling for the conversations that happen outside of the live stream, outside of the track, outside of the main tracks, and to bring that to our online audience, because I think there's a lot of curiosity about why we all love Zcon so much. Because there's talks,
Yeah.
are stored, they're saved,
idea.
they're live streamed. So yeah.
Good stuff, Ryan. Thank you so much for hosting all of us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, totally. Thank you
Thanks
very
all
much.
for watching.
And
Yeah.
Alex, you want to come jive with us?
Join us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Zuko. I hope that we have a chance to talk again more as the conference goes on. Enjoy your rest. Awesome shirt too. Zcash en español.
Hey, Adi, do you know my wife?
So in case you're watching this and you don't know who I am,
Yeah, I'm sure you'll walk right by.
he needs a mic. Wait, he's got a mic now. Yeah. So I'm Ryan Taylor. I'm the organizer for the ZFAV Club, and we're here at Zcon4 in Barcelona, live, talking to whoever wants to talk to me. And
I want to talk to you, Ryan.
Alex, I want to talk to you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's always nice to get this underway. You know, like after all, so much planning and so much stress and takes so long, and then you finally get it rolling, and then all the problems start, and you get to fix the problems, and then it's done. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it all flies by in a big blur.
Parts of it fly by, parts of it go kind of slow, but today has been awesome, and like really fun engagement, good food, good drink. This location is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's
hotel,
so
you mean?
excited to be in Barcelona, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, totally. And the weather is great.
Yeah.
The sun is out. Like Zuko said, we don't necessarily get out of the hotel as often as we would like.
True.
But with the activities that have been going on today, with the panels, with the presentations, it's been amazing. Dense and diverse information, a lot to absorb, and the two tracks at the same time. And your role in all of this is then organizing. Like, tell us about what you do at the foundation with regard to Zcon.
Sure. So yeah, I'm the chief operating officer, which means that my job is everything that's not engineering. So all the stuff that most people probably think is it's the less sexy, less interesting stuff that kind of makes like the trains run on time. But I love it. It's like my passion. My whole team, you know, Danica and Dan and John and Dee, like it's really cool to see everybody be so proud of the work we're able to do. And so like on a daily basis, we support ZCG. We run HR for ZF and do again all the non-engineering stuff. But we get to support all the people making super cool stuff, like whether it's through grants, supporting ZFAV Club.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I literally couldn't have done this without you, without Zcash Foundation. And when I came to ZF and pitched the idea to you and to Dan and Danica, I was sure that it was nuts. And and I'm like, okay, but if anyone is going to actually fund this thing, then it's ZF, because like we've worked together so much.
Yeah.
And the values, the benefit of what the AV Club is hoping to do
And has done already.
And has done is in line with so much of what Zcash Foundation wants to do with the mission and with your main values.
Yeah, one thing that's really cool, and I'm really proud of you guys for, like the whole AV Club crew, is that so many organizations struggle with inclusion in like audio visual stuff. And so like all of the translation work that's being done, and then all the work that's being done in native, you know, languages as opposed to doing it in English like we do everything, makes all of this so much more accessible, and it's not an afterthought. It's not just like hitting subtitles on YouTube, which is a first good step. You guys are doing so much more and you're being so successful in it, and you're opening up Zcash to not just Zcash, but you're opening up AV stuff and Zcash to so many people who wouldn't have that access otherwise. And things are being created now in those languages first, and then English second, which is like incredibly cool. And I don't know, I doubt you all understand how unique that is. You know, I've worked in nonprofits for a very long time at this point, and it's a struggle for every nonprofit to reach the communities and audiences that they're trying to reach, and they do it pretty poorly. You guys started there and started doing it in a really effective way, which is super cool. So, and you're just getting started. I mean, like when do you say ZFAV Club started?
Well, watch my talk in 2 days.
I mean, if I'm not busy, I'll drop by. Yeah, of course I'm going to be there.
I am giving a presentation on, I believe it's Tuesday, about the first 6 months of the Zcash Foundation Audiovisual Club.
Okay.
And when I was starting to write the talk, without doing too many spoilers, when I was starting to write the talk, that was the first question I had. It was like, when did this start? Because I had to go back in my personal history, because so much of what I was working on in the past, with my live streaming, but also with languages. I was in charge of managing all the translations for Z.Cash and the ECC assets. So that for me was it was already on the tip of my mind. It was something I knew that we needed to do, and it doesn't necessarily correlate with audio-visual, but for me, as content creators, as audio-visual storytellers, human language is the thing. Like, we have to start there so that we can communicate with each other. And I had a feeling that the Zcash community was much bigger than we were seeing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It allows people to be seen and heard that wouldn't be seen and heard otherwise necessarily. And then you get to see how big that community is and then grow it from there. I mean, this is, in the Zcons I've been involved in, this is absolutely the most diverse Zcon ever in presenters, you know, attendees, and then obviously the languages that are being streamed in. It's really amazing to think that Zcash is only in English is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, or any cryptocurrency for that matter, like the whole point is to transcend borders, transcend governments, transcend, you know, challenges. I mean, that's going to be done in many different languages, obviously. So that's super cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that here we want to be able to send money to whoever and be able to communicate in that way, because that transaction is still messaging. This is still communication, but so many of the projects don't look at how do we have respect for these other cultures and for these other communities that want to be a part of what we're doing, and how do we not necessarily it's for me, it doesn't necessarily feel like inclusion so much as just like creating a space and providing the tools to be able to enable people, to empower.
I think that's actually inclusion. I mean, like that's how I would define inclusion in this sense. But I think what would be a real success is next year, or when we do the next in-person Zcon, if our panels are like extremely diverse, because there's so many people from so many different communities involved, and not just in, you know, a specific part of the ecosystem, but like if we have a grantee panel, it's super diverse. If we have I mean, let's be honest, we had a kind of a town hall today, and it was not diverse in any way, right? And that's a bummer. And it's not, if we're going to be successful and we're going to really, you know, see to fruition like the power of Zcash and the possibility, then these panels should be reflective of, you know, many different communities. And there's nothing, the only thing that's stopping us from doing that is, you know, being able to really transact in languages that we're unable to today. But you guys, more than anyone, you're the ones putting the most effort into this, are going to make that possible. And that's like, I don't know, man. I think it's incredible. And it really is super impactful. And you make it look easy, but I also know, like, you know, sitting through your testing yesterday, and, you know, you guys are overcoming challenges every time you sit down to do anything, and you don't give up, which is amazing to me, that you're always fiddling, you're always, what does this button do? You know what I mean? Or like yesterday, I watched you, like with the different settings on the camera, like you are as curious as anybody, even though you have like the most amount of knowledge or significant amount of knowledge.
Experience, yeah.
Or experience, yeah. But you are like the most, one of the most curious still. Like, so that vibe carries through like everybody you talk to. I find it really inspiring. Like AV stuff in general, like I don't have the patience to do a lot of the things that you all do, but I love watching it. Like I'm inspired by watching you do it and then seeing, like so often you guys will do something, I'll see the start and the end, the finished product is nothing like I envisioned the start or seeing where you began. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean you must feel that too, right? Like if you really think about the journey sometimes it's like, it's never straight, it's like bumpy as hell, right?
It is, and especially because the ZFAV club is a decentralized effort. Like it is a crazy amount of effort that we're all putting into this, but we're all putting it into it, and we're all working on whatever it is that we want, what we're curious about, and I try to just kind of create an environment where that's possible. So one of the keys is having regular meetings, and not like your typical. We have regular meetings on every Tuesday at the same time at 1700 UTC. And then on Wednesdays, we have a workshop where we literally just try to break stuff. And it's like, or we'll be curious about a certain application. Yeah. And we start like for the first time and we're demoing it together and playing with it together. And now we have multiple minds troubleshooting and learning. And then in the time between these workshops, then one person in the club might be super curious about solving one little problem that we had, or trying some other idea that they had that we could use that application or that tool for, and then they come back the next week with some sort of solution to this. And perfect example is the language translation stuff that we were working on, and this is where the story for me is also over time. Like it doesn't start when I picture it to be at the beginning is not at all where it ends up. And Robmar's stream in Spanish, the Zcon en Español stream, is a really good example of that, because that sort of started with John, and he was hacking on some language stuff so that he could understand the Spanish meetups that were happening on Free to Z, I believe. And then he came to the ZFAV meeting and he was like, hey, look at this thing that now we can route audio into like Google Translate and from a YouTube video, and it does the transcription and the translation. And that because we're so many people working on it and we have active live projects to hack on this stuff with. Zcon4 was the first example of this. Yeah. And John had demoed his project like a week before Zcon4 or something like that. And but this was a chance for us to really like test in the wild. Yeah. And we're not afraid of breaking stuff because we do it all the time. And it's the same thing that happened yesterday. We were planning on doing this type of setup yesterday. And I show up, and flexibility is the name of the game for me. And so I show up, and I'm like, okay, nothing's working. That's fine. We spent 3 hours troubleshooting, solve all sorts of problems. And then today we found this great space where we could do what we wanted to do, and we're prepared. And the whole team is now here behind the camera, hiding. That used to be my job.
Well, and I got to tell you mentioned John, and Dan, who's behind the laptop over here, will tell you that we have a huddle every Monday, like my ops team at ZF, and we go around and just say what we've been up to and what if we need anything from anybody for the next week. And I love John's updates more than anybody because he comes through with the most random stuff all the time, and it's always like, one Monday he'll be like, I've been working on this thing, it's not really working. So then I did this other thing, it's not really working. I'm gonna try this thing this week, and then the next Monday he's like, I totally fixed that thing I was working on. And it's just like he's so tenacious in this quiet, like kind of just very, very like consistent way. Like I can just picture him hacking away, and then like he gets it, shares it with everybody else, then on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. It fascinates me because again, I don't have that kind of patience. It's not my thing, but I just love hearing the process because honestly I find it super inspiring, and I can see how I can kind of apply it to the work I do, which isn't very creative for the most part. It's not, again, it's not the most exciting parts of ZF's work or any organization's work, but the work I do enables creative people and engineers and everybody else to do their work. That way they don't have to worry about it. They're getting paid, they're getting the resources they need, and that makes me happy. And that's, you had asked before about what my role is for Zcon. I guess I'm responsible for all this ultimately. If it succeeds, the whole team gets to take credit for it, which is fantastic, and everybody deserves it. And if it was to fail, I probably would fall on that sword and take all the credit for that. But there's no way it would fail because everybody puts so much work into this. Like anybody who's ever put on an event, any event, a wedding or a birthday party, I mean, like whatever it is, there's a stress involved in that. I don't actually feel any stress putting on Zcon because I love working through it with my team. Because everybody's so passionate about doing better than last time. And I have to tell you, like anybody that was in Vegas, like we were really, really proud of Vegas. Now looking back after what we're doing here, I'm still proud of it, but like I'm more proud of this. And then next time we do it, we'll be, more proud of that. And I think that's like, I don't know, it's fun and it's cool. And I think we're really fortunate we get to do this work that we get to do something we're passionate about, but also use our very unique skill sets. Danica, who's on our team, has a very unique skill set that doesn't include creative things until she goes and does a creative thing. And then she's like, oh, wait, I'm good at this too. Or Dan, who's amazing at AV stuff and community building. He's had to learn other skills on our team, and he's crushing it on that. And so, like, I don't know, I feel very fortunate I get to work with the people I get to work with and support the people I get to support, including you and the AV Club crew. It's really neat. And I think if more people felt the way we all do about like getting satisfaction out of supporting other people, I think that's actually a really huge part of the AV Club. You get satisfaction in learning new things, solving problems, but there's no question you get satisfaction out of seeing other people succeeding, that you got to help them, to help them get there. And I think that's like lost in a lot of situations, unfortunately, especially like corporate situations for sure. Yeah. And we're trying to do something, that we really believe in, like seeing Zcash spread and evolve and just get better and more impactful.
Yeah, I think that's really important. This idea of supporting each other and the reward that we get from that. Me personally, the reward that I get when one of the people who I collaborate with in the ZFAV Club gets really enthusiastic about something, and like Robmar is a great example who I keep mentioning.
I know his name keeps coming up. Even in our meetings, his name has come up so often lately.
Yeah,
he's crushing it.
He is, and he was watching our meetups and our meetings, and we were talking about the automatic translation, the live translation stuff, and for him it was just it inspired him to go on and to do what he's doing today and what he's doing this whole week. And another example is Ender, who came into the ZFAV Club Discord and was like, hey, how can I help? This is the type of stuff I'm into. Brand happens to be one of his specialties. And so he made sure that the ZFAV brand was on point before Zcon4. Yeah. And this was a project that I'm not experienced with brand work, and I don't necessarily have time to do it. Like the brand work that was done for ZFAV at the beginning of the year, of basically the logo, some color choices and things, and then some mid-journey pictures, that was kind of all that I had time to do. And
which were really cool, by the way. I mean, but it's evolving.
It is. It's evolving, and it's evolving out of my control, which I absolutely love. It's evolving to be this inclusive community of people who are designing the AV Club. Yeah. By participating, by playing with us, essentially.
No, it's super cool. One thing I should mention too is that Dodger on a panel today mentioned we're going to be relaunching or launching the next cohort of the ZF minor grants, which I think are up to 25,000 is what we did last time with a pot of 75,000 total. And so it would be awesome. I think the next evolution or the next like success step would be to get somebody's from the AV Club background who've come through AV Club to get one of those minor grants would be really cool. And then they can kind of pay it forward to the next group. And I mean, that really is the point of doing this. And that's the other thing too, like to see synergy between Zcon, ZF AV Club, ZF minor grants, like isn't this what we're supposed to be doing here? And seeing everybody posting on the forum and Discord and elsewhere and like being super stoked about sharing Zcash en Espanol and all the different things that are being shared, it's everywhere. And it's just been a short 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I'm unsurprised at the success. Like, I truly am. Your passion for this stuff and your vision was off. It was clear. I mean, we said yes pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
Because it was easy. It was an easy
It was
thing to say
almost
yes
too
to.
quick. I'm like, there's a no coming somewhere down the line, and it was just,
Yeah, I don't like saying no. Like, if there's a chance to say yes, I'm gonna say yes.
I appreciate that.
And this was you're making my yes seem easy and smart. So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah. And really that point that you made about giving people opportunities to move into the Zcash ecosystem through the Zec economy and apply for minor grants with projects that they've built, that they've started, or projects they've been inspired by within the ZFAV club, be able to move into minor grants, be able to move into the major grants, and who knows what else. Like, there's job opportunities abound, and Free to Z with the crowdfunding model that they have. I think all of this, like, I want the AV club to be a part of that ecosystem, not even necessarily a springboard of it, because we are doing a lot of work with the Zcash grantees. And in fact, one of the first grantees that we had a collaboration with was Zcast, who received a Zcash minor grant, the Zcash Foundation minor grant. And they started producing their podcast in Spanish, and we were working on human languages, and podcasting is fully AV, and I'm like, this needs to be highlighted. I want to talk to these folks. And now they're here. We actually started this live stream in Spanish for the first like 20 or 30 minutes, and they were talking, and then I came on and we started talking a bit more and had this multilingual conversation going on, and I think like it's been really awesome to be able to embrace that part of the community, and now I'm looking forward to turning it back around and being able to support those the individuals, the groups that are coming through ZFAV that we're working with, and their ideas, and being able to get funding for their ideas.
No, yeah, for sure. One really cool thing about my job is I get to see the whole ecosystem at like 30,000 feet, because I have my fingers in all sorts of different things because of my role. And so like today, listening to Ian's talk, which I highly suggest everybody check out, talking about like how to bring more people into the ecosystem, how to decentralize through, you know, all these smaller players that could turn into bigger players, is like the perfect connection to what you guys are working on, and ZF minor grants and all the other things we're talking about. So like the coolest thing about Zcon, and if you're able to attend, or at the very least able to attend online, but to be able to be here in person and make connections between these things, and it's not just like hypothetical. It's like you can listen to a talk, think about it, and then be like, oh, this is how I fit in. Like, this is how I can become a part of this. Like, that's the point. And I feel like I actually was talking to somebody outside a few minutes ago, and they were comparing Zcon to they go to 15 conferences a year, crypto conferences. Wow. Yeah. Business is paying for that, obviously. Not a cheap thing. And I asked him to rate here, and he rated it an A+, and I was like, yeah, right, you give everything an A+. And he said, there's no sponsorship here, which is true. There's no vendors presenting or anything, which is true. It's just passionate people. And like Jack said this morning, this year especially, we've done our best with a lot of Dan's influence, to be totally fair, give Dan a little credit over here, that we were representing as many different groups and individuals in the ecosystem as possible. So it almost makes like a panel like we had this afternoon stand out even a little bit more, because it was so kind of undiverse, where so many other of our panels today, or presenters, were from every corner of the Zcash ecosystem. And that, like, how could you have a crypto project and not have that? Yeah, a successful crypto project and not have that. So, and we're just getting started. You know what I mean? Like, it still feels like this portion of Zcash is just getting started.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting. I think it's the most exciting part of the ecosystem. I mean, it's just actually a dumb thing to say. It's obviously the most exciting part of the ecosystem, if nothing else, because of the passion that everybody brings. And, you know, everybody, I know people can't see who I'm looking at over here, but the people in this room all are taking their personal time, and they can be doing anything. with that time, and they choose to spend it with you and each other and you know, building this thing, which is super, super cool. So like, congrats to everybody. Like, it is inspiring, and not just to me. We talk about this, you know, on a fairly regular basis at ZF. It is inspiring to see, and I think it pushes us to be more inclusive and really think through how do we support, you know, these different projects. And we were super stoked on Zcash Brazil, you know, like getting Zcash Zcash Bozes. And we really, really want to do another one. Hopefully our treasury allows for that in the next year. My dream is to do one on the African continent, possibly Nigeria, possibly elsewhere, and really get a new kind of flavor and vibe into what we're all doing here, and get an influence, and not just in a way that's like, hey, we did it. Hey, we did something in Africa, or hey, we did something in Brazil. Like, you know, hey, this is the start. It's not just like planting a flag. It's like starting to build the foundation, or build on the foundation that's already started to be built, and really build something up. Is, I don't know. Zcash Brazil's made it look easy, which I know it's not easy. I can't imagine how much work has gone into it. But from the outside perspective, it's just like caught fire and just exploded. And that's like, don't get me wrong. I know how much hard work. I don't know how much hard work. I can only imagine how much hard work goes into it. But it's amazing how easy it's looked, because the community is just like so together and bonded and like passionate. I mean,
Yeah.
super passionate.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would like if we could get some Zcash Brazil folks up here,
Yeah.
and maybe you just take the stream over and start speaking Portuguese about what
Let's
we're up
go.
to at Zcon, and speak to the Zcash Brazil audience who couldn't make it.
Somebody come take my pen mic.
Wait, I have a couple more questions for you while you're here, while they decide if
I'm
they're
not
going to
going
come up. And so hobbies to distract you from Zcash.
Yeah, I cook a lot. I do a lot of cooking, which my family appreciates. A lot of music. I'm super into going to concerts, and I live in an area where there's lots of great shows, and we spend a huge amount of time outside, getting to explore all the neighborhoods in our city, and then to come somewhere like Barcelona and get to like translate that to wandering around these areas, and like, you know, we've walked down more back alleys and gotten funny looks like, hey, how did we discover this restaurant, or like that. It's just so much fun to experience other cultures in a way that for a brief second you feel like this is my neighborhood, like this is my local bar, this is my, you know, like this I feel so comfortable being here. It's just like, it's awesome. It's so much fun. So yeah, it's
really, really cool.
It's just to go do something new and do something like inspiring, really.
Yeah, nice. That's really good. That's a good way to break out and not burn out.
Yeah, pretty much all surrounding food. I mean, food is the common denominator between all these things.
Yeah. I was talking to Aditya here earlier, and he also cooks, and his hobbies were cooking and running marathons, and I was like, oh, it's health and getting away from the screen. And
I just learned that about Adi, and I got to tell you, like, I have a huge amount of respect for artists and marathon runners. I can't imagine what it takes to run a marathon. Like, that is so far from anything I never
would have even considered it.
Yeah, it's like not even. I wouldn't either. I would for a second and then be like, no, what am I doing? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I did a 5K once. Yeah, and I still remember how much it hurt. So I forget how long a marathon is, 20 whatever miles. Yeah, that sounds rough. I'm gonna have to talk to Adi about that. Maybe he'll inspire me to give it a shot.
Yeah, or at least to like go for a jog.
Yeah, or walk fast. Maybe a fast walk.
Let's start there on the beach.
Let's not be too crazy here.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the amazing event and all the work that you're doing here. And thanks again for your support in the Zcash Foundation Audiovisual Club.
Of course, man. It's just getting started.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So let's switch languages once again here.
Please.
Vem.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Drink some.
Cool. Microphone for you.
Thank you.
Microphone for you.
Okay. Here we go.
E agora? Você fica aí. Ok. Quietinho. Oi?
Yeah, I think you can.
I want to do this. I was hoping that. So I was hoping that you could all. First of all, welcome. Hi. It's nice to
Hi.
see all of you. So I was hoping that we have a core part of Zcash Brazil. Michael, you started the whole thing as the Brazil Zcash ambassador.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and so I was hoping that you could explain to the Zcash Brazil community who couldn't be here what it's like to be at Zcon, and what is your experience so far here?
Yeah, that's an incredible journey until today. So we start the community like from scratch, and yeah, and I start alone. I just come to like a BeachConf event in São Paulo, and then where I meet Vito and Mini Yogi, and I start to think about like investing in people to bring more people together to build the community. So I think it's worth it. That's why we here, and thanks to ZF for the confidence, for the trust, because and people is like everything for any community. So that's you keep like stronger and incentivized to keep going, you know. So yeah, that's amazing to be here, like a dream. It's first time visiting Europe, thanks to Zcash. Zcash like vision is like empowering people, so that's true. I'm here, I can tell you, you know, it's like we have like I said before, when Zcash started at Sermon, it's about 6 people. So only in Brazil, you have 6 people working directly, paying in Zcash. So that's amazing, you know. So I think the founders and Zcash Foundation, grants and ECC needs to be proud of the journey. Yeah, I think it's
I think that's great, and like it was your passion that drove you to grow it bigger, and then the when you saw the other people coming in and their passion for it, then it drove you to do more, and starting as an ambassador and then growing it into a grant. And so let's talk about the grant, the Zcash Brazil grant.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about like how that process was for you? Tell us
Yes.
your story.
When I started as ambassador of Zcash from ZF, I don't get the money. I just share all the budget with the team that is today. So we started like March or April 2022 last year. So we apply for the grants, the proposal for spend Zcash in Brazil like in December, and then we got the proposal approved. So first of apply, we like investing in the community to build the community. Like we did a great job, like designer team, Vito as community manager as well, Samara, it's PR, helped me a lot with my English, but it's getting better. Yeah, so it's a challenge for me, but I think I'm doing my best for.
You're doing great, absolutely.
thank
And here
you.
you are on a live stream, and I gave you the opportunity to speak
Yeah, sure,
Portuguese, and you
yes.
didn't even take it. So
Yeah,
I think
that's my
really
yeah.
amazing.
Great.
Yeah, and I'm also like I live in Germany, and so like I spend a lot of my time trying to speak a language that isn't my first language, and so I can understand how difficult that is, and I can appreciate it, and thank you for being here and for everything that you're doing really with Zcash Brazil. It's hard for me to pick out one thing that you've done because it's all amazing to me, with building the community from that humble start of the Zcash ambassador position, and using those funds to to help to grow the community and to support the community. And it's like Alex and I were talking about this feeling of supporting each other and helping each other be or have a feeling of that they're a part of it, that they're a part of something that they're passionate about. And you've really done a great job of that. And so the Zcash Brazil grant was $50,000, is that correct?
It's a $46.
46,000.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And
for
you're splitting that between six
people. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you create like mainly stuff and bring some key contributor to the community, like James that got some minor grants from ZF to build like the boot for Shield Zcash on the Discord.
Oh, right, yeah,
So
the Discord Shield
yeah,
Zcash
yes.
transactions, yeah.
So that's a great for micro transactions. And today he sent to us. I think you tested too the Zcash faucets. So yeah, it's another product. So this is like fruits that you.
Yes.
So that's my vision when I started in Zcash. I am skin the game, so I'm holder of Zcash, and then I love privacy. So this is a passion. This is a purpose to be part of the revolution, and I don't get lost this this curve, you know. So that's why I'm help people. That's why I'm helping like. For example, PrivacyMap guy, the channel is the same purpose, so the same vision for education people. That's I think some keys from Zcash Brazil.
Yeah, very cool. So Samara, you're part of this team that he's built, that he's working with. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do with Zcash Brazil, what you've been working on?
So mainly I started as a translator, helping hand, and then I said, okay, I need to be something more deeper than that. And I started to planning and organizing some events like online and meetups. So from the Zcon Voices, I was presenting, was my first time in the stage, and I was very anxious, but I think I did kind of great. And even I'm not as much as online, I'm always working behind the scenes. Like when we do prize draws, I'm the one that realizes the draws, or like I'm the one that is sending. And today I also collect something to do a prize for the community. Like doesn't matter how big it is. Like I feel like they feel valuable, like getting even if it's a sticker, or like we are doing draws of a ledgers too, like so I'm actually on that, and mainly like in the English part as well. And I already offer like if we need to do some translation on the ECC or anything, like I said, like I can do my best, and it's for passion as well, like as Michael said in the beginning, like if you see like a Zcash community from Brazil as a company, I would say like in the beginning we pretty much reinvest the money in the community. So like not even neither me or Michael was getting nothing money wise, but we are like we knew like from the from these we'll be collecting fruits like in different ways. So mainly is that.
Yeah, there's a lot there that you're doing, and the giveaways and the offline stuff that you do, I think is very valuable, and like it's not necessarily seen by because so much of what we do happens online in Discord and on Twitter and these different platforms, on Zach Hub as well. Like you can see the contributors that are doing stuff there, but the in-person meetups are very important, and it's a different skill set. It's a different set of skills to be able to organize an event and to give these presentations at events, and the IRL, the in real life AFK away from your keyboard type of work is it's very, very important, and it's important that it's a part of the beginning of the process that Zcash Brazil is doing.
Yeah, I think the great part is like start from ZF to create this program for ambassadors because like one decision makes big difference, you know. So that's why we're here, and another Zcash ambassadors, it's here, and it's growing the community around the world. So giving people voices, you know. So that's important because, like I said, it's people everything, you know. We have AI now, but you know, it's not the same energy. Like Zuko said before here, uh, I feel like the community is growing it and like keep more strong than like 1 year. So I mean, I have been crypto like 7 years now, and I saw Zcash listed in Poloniex like when it's like a 7 bitcoins, you know. So I saw that I'm that time, and then I saw a lot of hates on Twitter and many social medias about Zcash. But today, when you search about Zcash, it's totally different. You see like many enthusiasts, many people studying like zero knowledge proof, ZKs, many projects implemented this now. So I think is Zcash as pioneer this technology has big advances. So
So seeing the big drop in
yeah,
in
I
the
saw.
market price, you watched that
Yes.
happen, and you saw all of the hate and on the social on Twitter and things, and you are still this deeply involved in Zcash. So what was it? Was it the privacy? Was it the math? Was it the people? What was it about Zcash that made you want to get this involved?
Yeah, so I started like researching about Zcash and technology. I saw like Bitcoin Talk, where Satoshi wrote there like about zero knowledge proof. So if Bitcoin was implemented like 3 years later, maybe Bitcoin got zero knowledge proof because in that time weren't there. It's like wasn't developers. It's about zero knowledge proof. So now, like today, you have much more. So can help the protocol grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like time to change everything too. So and then I saw Vitalik papers about zero knowledge proof, ZK snarks, and then I got interested because Vitalik is, you know, like a founder of Ethereum, and I live in Canada, so I meet him there. I
Nice.
took one photo with Vitalik, and I know Canada has many, like three or two or three founders of Ethereum, and then I like offshore. Of course, I gave her credit and start to learn these articles about ZK. So yeah, I think it's a mix. That's why I'm got interested in Zcash. It's beyond privacy, but the technology and the use case, like for privacy and offshore money and like information that you gave, like some shows that you need to prove you have 18 years to enter in the or drink some alcohol. And Zcash technology solve this problem. You can prove you have 18, or I don't know if US is 21, but
21,
in
yeah.
yeah, that's in Brazil is 18. So I think you can solve this with ZK, for example.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I agree that the zero knowledge proofs are very cool, and about I mean it's the reason that Zcash is so cool, I think, and it's also very underexplored so far. Like we were talking about how to use that for money, but you brought up the point of age or any information that you don't want to expose the actual answer to. You can prove that you know the answer, and that you are not lying about
Yeah.
your age, for example. So yeah, that's so it's I'm kind of thinking a lot lately about how Zcash is, because you mentioned that it's like all of these different things that you like about it.
Yeah.
And then there's the community, and we end up, I know I do this, that I end up working all the time because Zcash is what I want to do. It's like whether it's working with the community or making videos or reading, studying, whatever. So what do you do to when you're not doing Zcash stuff? Do you have a way to break away from it?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and then I'm investor too.
Okay.
So, but my life is crypto, and my main focus is Zcash
Awesome.
and Zcash Brazil. That's I spend more time of my days because crypto is 24/7. You know, you never
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
So I actually I have some vacation, but it's not real vacation because every time I check my phone,
Yeah.
the messages and from the team
Exactly.
and etc. But yeah, I like it. I love this space.
Yeah.
So that's I keep motivated to keep going, and I think I hope Brazil team grow more. I hope for next years we have more people involved with Zcash. We have like many events to do, many things that we don't put in the proposal for this year because we are learning. So I think it's like a 3L. It's like a look, listen, and learn.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be this year for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
definitely.
then next year you can improve on this year, and then apply some like error, mistake, etc.
Yeah. Keep learning.
Yes.
Very cool. So Vito, I don't want to ignore you over here.
There we go.
Tell us
Hello,
about
Ryan.
your. Hi. How are you?
Hi, good, pretty good.
Good.
What about you?
No, not at all. We don't talk like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So Vito, tell us what you do with Zcash Brazil. We'll start there.
I'm a community manager. Yeah, I started like last year when I met Michael in São Paulo in the BigConf, and I have experience with Discord and platforms and with communities. So Michael wanted to grow a community, and we like formed a team to do it. Then we start to grow community even more every day, you know, and doing events, community calls, airdrops to teach the community how to use Zac, you know, because we were like giving them Zacs to use. And now I like working on Zcash Brazil with the growth, you know, growing the community with him and the design team as well. And I have a participation on Zac Hub with John, Jason, and on ZFEV too, with you, Dan, and that's it.
Yeah, so involved.
Yeah.
And the Zcash Global Discord as well. You hope to build that.
Yeah.
And that came from, you were telling me yesterday that came from a smaller community, and then you decided to.
Yeah, first Zcash Global was Zcash Latin. The server was focused on Spanish and in Portuguese only. And then Ian contacted me to create Zac Hub inside the Zcash Global, and we start to receive a lot of people from like English, Korean inside the Zcash Latin, and then we changed the name to Zcash Global, and we opened like a lot of categories like communities to bring more people from different part of the world, you know, to have a space to talk in Zcash Global. So yeah. And the server was like growing even more every day, and we got like 1,000 members, and so fast. And we are like working every day, like using bots and stuff to make more easy to understand. You know how to use Zcash, post the newsletters and stuff. So yeah.
How big of a role did the Discord platform play in this? I mean, it sounds like you do a lot of your community organizing using Discord. And did you ever think of something else, of using like Matrix, for example?
Yeah, we are using Matrix actually because we have a community on Telegram and on Matrix too. So on Telegram, we have the options to make a bridge between Discord, Telegram, and Matrix. So we have 3 communities.
Wow.
And if you're like talking and having a conversation in Discord, the Telegram we also receive your message, right? So we found a way to connect both communities without have to like, you know, have to pay attention in 2 communities basically. We only just need like to watch Discord, for example, and we see what's going on in Telegram and Matrix. So if someone don't like to use Discord, they can use Telegram, and we will receive the message from Telegram. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome. The building in these systems, they're technically called bridges, but it's also this, in a more abstract way, there's also the bridge building between communities that we do, and you're using. There are communities that prefer to work in Telegram. There are some that prefer Discord, and others that prefer Matrix. And it reminds me very much of the different interests and that we have at Zcon, that we're trying to build these bridges between the different communities. In our case, it's building between the ZFAV club and the AV community and all of the other communities that are here, all the other interests that are here. In your case, you're doing the same thing with building a team of people that have all of these different interests. And it's important to give people a way to be a part of this that they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Like see Vito supporting like ZFAV, and we see like Mini Yogi is supporting Zach Hub, for example, for design stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool because you have like some, it's not merge but alliance between like all the teams. So you are together, you know. It's like it's not different companies or people. So I think that's the great part. So everyone like chat in the Discord, like we save time. We have having like many boots already in the Discord that facilitate the work. That's great. As Zach GPT or that's amazing boot. And yeah, we have price. We have like many facilities for the community, and you keep improving for.
Yeah, we're always looking for new features, you know, to improve even more the Discord. Like we have the price ticker that you can see the Zcash price on Discord, and we have Zach T has he said, and like shielded transactions was the first time that we implemented that because it was a grant, you know, supported by foundation, and
the quiz.
The quiz too, yeah. So if you want to like do a quiz about Zcash in Portuguese or English, you can just use the quiz bot, Zach Quiz, and you know you can do your events there using this bot. So yeah, we are like focusing like our focus on bots because we can make good interactions with them, and yeah, this makes our Discord more how can I say that? But it's more interactive, you know. People can have more fun with that, can feel comfortable with us, like talking with us, learning with us, and join our community calls to learn about, for example, Zebra that we did last month, you know. So yeah.
How often are you doing community calls?
Community calls?
Yeah.
Actually, it depends of the month. Actually, in April we did like 1 per week, right?
Yes.
About a weekly call. When we were using like the newsletters, Zach Hub, we were like translated to Portuguese, the news, and explain for the community what's going on in the ecosystem. And then we start to do 1 per week, like with one theme, like Zebra. What is the last one before Zebra? Do you know? Do you remember?
I think it's free to Z.
Free to
maybe?
Z,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think.
Free to Z.
Yeah.
And the next one will be about Zcon4. So we are like collecting all the informations, and then we go to Brazil. We start a community call to explain how was the event. So yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Like those types of regular calls are very important to encourage this interaction.
Mhm.
And then you have these other add-ons to your Discord, like the quiz and
Yeah.
these other ways for people to be involved in a fun and in an inclusive way. They can feel like they're belonging, they're learning, they're listening, and it's what you were talking about. But on a internet hosted platform rather than like in real life, where at Zcon we're doing all of this stuff in real time, and it's a lot of fun, but we need that to continue and to be able to connect all of us while we're not here. You know, I think that it's really important.
Yeah,
Zcash
yeah.
Global is doing that.
For example, we are here, but the Zcash Brazil community, we are posting like we have like arts and thing to post like every day that we are out of Brazil. And today, like we create some an activity for the community. It's like where is Wally, but where is Zebra?
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So you keep the community and like project active. So that's great because it's like running if you like ambassador or community manager, for example. So
Yeah.
because we have great community members, they help us a lot. Tomorrow I will show some highlights from Brazil in the lightning talks. So don't miss.
So the lightning talks tomorrow are the ambassador lightning talks.
Yeah,
right? You're talking about?
and then
Okay, and then you and I are going to be on a panel together.
Yes.
Tomorrow at I think 10 in the morning or something like that.
Correct.
And we'll be talking about building community, like what we're talking about now, but
Yeah,
probably more practical in a way. And like now, I'm just curious about what you've all been doing, but what we'll talk about is more like how other people can apply that, I think, and what we've learned from this process, from doing this.
Something that I was thinking of pointing, like if inviting like another people that want to be ambassador, and if they are already ambassador but they want to do something like they think Brazilian community is doing great, so don't hesitate in reaching us. Like we are here also to help and to see like learning from what we have done, and also exchanging experience, saying like what you have done and what we can learn from you, and also what and I feel like so feel free to reach us and like enjoy and talk. We are very accessible, like and we can try like talk in many languages you want to.
Yeah, totally. It's important that people know that they can approach all of us, and that they can approach you as the ambassador. If you're in Brazil and you're interested in Zcash, then you know who to talk to, you know who to reach out to, and you know how to find all of us, because like Discord is the easiest, and then also you use Twitter a lot for Zcash Brazil. And what other platforms do you use?
Yeah, most
Instagram.
of
Instagram.
Instagram.
You use Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twitter. We start to
You have a
use
YouTube channel.
we start to use like, YouTube channel. Yeah, we recorded the Twitter, the community calls. Like everything is being recording, and we are posting there. We start to use Hive blockchain. You know, the Picket, the platform, and Discord, Odyssey. We have a channel on Odyssey too, and Free2Z, and Substack to post newsletters.
Places.
Yeah,
Yes.
newsletters and like articles. We are like translating articles, important ones about the updates of the ecosystems. So yeah, we are using like a bunch of them. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then also all the work on Zach Hub and the ZFAV Club work.
Yeah, we have like podcasts and Spotify. And,
yeah.
and
That's true.
Everywhere. It's like 70 platforms of podcasts. Zcash Brazil is there, so people can access like everywhere.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Everything that you're doing is so much that I have to ask, what's next? What's your dream of where Zcash Brazil goes?
Yeah, I think my vision is grow the team and spend 4 hours like, because Brazil has like 27 cities and states. Yeah, 27 states, So I'm from São Paulo, Viro, and most of the team is from Rio de Janeiro, where we did the Zcon voices. And but you have much more to visit, to teach people, and to share about Zcash and privacy important. So I think is we have many things to do.
Yeah.
That's I think you can
Yeah.
like in favelas we have some plans to create some education for
Exactly.
favelas, like workshops and like incentivize people to change lives and
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, we have some. For example, we have partnership with PrivacyMap. There's a channel in YouTube. There's 1,000 of people subscribe it. Yeah, 10,000. 10,000.
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah, his channel,
Amazing.
yeah, his channel is like pioneer in Brazil about privacy. It's not only about like Zcash or crypto, but it's in general. You know, I start to work with him, the Vitor Pio, and to create some Do you know the Privacy Alliance in US?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, we are start to create the Privacy Alliance for Brazil.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I merged with him to create like we rebranded the website already. So we are creating some like ambient for people access this information. We think about create some privacy for kids, like to teach
Yeah.
people like the mom and parents, like, oh, if you use like some social media, it's dangerous. So you think to create some to protect this privacy, because it's like IG. You be the same for rest of our life in the internet because you have the same IG, for example. When you come to internet, so you need to protect you.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And we are like not for only for kid, but for people as well, like in general way. In Brazil, we are teaching them how to improve the adoptions on with private apps. For example, like instead of you're using WhatsApp, why you can use Signal, for example. It's the same interface, It's like more privacy. It provides you more privacy. If you're using Gmail, we're not Protomail. So yeah, we are starting in this way, and then we like doing a presentation about Zcash for them, like onboarding Zcash for them, about financial privacy and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good kickstart for, as I said, like for the future. We already doing that, but we are like thinking to like and giving more force, give more attention in this part, not only Zcash but privacy as a whole.
Yeah, I think that that's a really important point too. Is that like privacy, Zcash is just a part of the privacy story, and there are like use Signal, use Tor, this classic argument. I think it was Stone that said that, and it's important that us as the core or a core of the privacy community, it's our job to grow this and to help people learn about the ways that they're leaking their privacy and the ways that they can improve their privacy, and reaching out to other ecosystems, out to other projects, and collaborating with them and helping to tell the story together, I think is really important. And in fact, I'm going to go to Brazil in about a month for the D-Web camp that's happening there. And this is the first example that we have in the ZFAV club of trying to build these bridges to these other communities, because much like you're talking about, that privacy has all of these other tools, other communities, there's these other parts of the privacy story in decentralization, and the other stuff that I'm really interested in about Zcash is the decentralization of it, the censorship resistance of it. There's other communities that care about this stuff as well, and the D-Web community is one that cares very deeply about decentralization, about local first and private communication, especially for like remote communities. And so that's why the camp happens, and it's a way to kind of separate the people who go from this internet backbone that we all depend on and everything. So a blockchain isn't going to work in that sense, but the Zcash community has a space in that community and this is what we'll do in September, to go and to help support each other, I think. And I hope that we'll find some new Zcash Brazil recruits, some new folks who want to join you and help your process. And at the same time, I expect that we will meet people there who can use our support. So I think that it's a really powerful thing about the diversity of this conference that people are talking about. It's not just the diversity of the individuals and our backgrounds, but also our interests. And this is a superpower, I think, that we're embracing this, and it's very, very good stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's an incredible part of the self-funding, because they allow us to learn quickly, interact quickly, and like build communities around the world and try many stuff. It's like it's autonomous system.
Yes.
So you can like pay and use Zcash everywhere. There's no border. So yeah, I think it's great part, because like ZF is sponsor us to come to Barcelona, for example. So it is just the Alex said here is early. It's like just the beginning, I think. So it's 7 years is so baby.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And the community this year has grown so much more compared to, and at least we see that at Zcon, and I think we see it online as well, that in the last 2 years, the Zcash community has grown, and other communities have been created, have grown up with it, and it's really, that's what, like you're saying, like this autonomy, and being able for these individual communities to grow in their own way, in their own context, in their own place in the world, and then to be able to interact and build these bridges and have the support of the other Zcash communities, the support of the funding. It's all very much like promoting organic growth of the community instead of trying to advertise to people and have that be the thing that gets you adoption.
Yeah, even in hard times like bear markets, for example, because the treasury from ECC and Zcash grants and ZF, so the power of buyer, for example, is slow in these times, but people, you see now people keep building, so I think that's great part. So that's I like this system as now. So I really support keep the self-funding for a long time, because you have like longevity.
Yeah, longevity.
Yes.
Yeah, it's longevity and sustainability as well, and it's I agree. And Zuko said it during his talk that the Dev Fund is like the superpower. It's Zcash's superpower, and I've worked with a lot of open source projects that solving funding for open source projects has been a problem for a really long time, and that's just paying the developers and not even thinking about all of the other community aspects that we can actually fund and promote and support through Zcash. It's that autonomy is super powerful.
Yeah, it's for public benefits as well.
Yeah, the public benefit, right?
Yeah, that's a key point too, because it's open source.
Yeah.
So everyone can get involved. Yeah, I think this is amazing, and the revolution will be decentralized. It's not centralized. So let's keep like a resistance. Keep teaching other people in person, online, about the like CDBCs are coming, so we need to protect us in some way. So like the children's, etc. So I think we have many work to do.
Yeah, we do. And I think that's a really good going out point here. I think that was excellent. Thank you for joining me
Thank
up here.
you.
Yeah, thank you. That was
Thank you for having us.
And I see that we don't have any other guests waiting to talk, so
there's
we're
John
gonna
and Dan. Yes.
well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap. We have 2 more
Oh yeah,
days.
it's late.
Yeah, no. Dan needs to sleep. I think we all do. We have
Yeah,
days. We've
we
got
have to
2
rest,
days
man.
left of Zcon, and then we've got the ZK Proof Workshop Day. I see my battery is like dying over there on the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
And the anyway, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it's on the little dongle
working.
that's hanging off the side, the little blue thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So batteries are dying. My batteries are dying, and I want to get some rest because the next 2 days are going to be, if they're anything like today, it's going to be intense. And like tomorrow, you have a panel with me, and then your lightning talk. Then are you done? That's your stage stuff? That's the stuff
Yeah,
you do
We're
on stage?
volunteering as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Show
we'll-
the microphones.
yeah, if we need to run microphones and everything.
Wow, you are busy. Yeah, I appreciate your help. I really
but
do,
it-
and not just at Zcon, but also in growing the Zcash community in Brazil. I can honestly say it wouldn't have happened without you. So thank you, and
Thank you
Samara
for
as well.
having me.
Thank you, and of course Vito. I appreciate your
Sure,
help
man.
with CFAV Club.
Thank
as
you for
well.
having us.
Cool. All right, we'll catch y'all tomorrow. Hopefully we'll do this again maybe tomorrow at some point. So stay tuned on Twitter, on Huva, on Discord. Yeah, keep track of all of us and reach out if you have any questions or, want to play.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay.
Michael started like his
He
speaking
waited.
move and like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you nailed it. You
If
nailed
you want
it.
the-
Congratulations.
Eu preciso tomar breja
You're waiting
amanhã.
here.
Antes do...
Oh my God.
I was like drinking more like 5 beers.